You don't want to like let anyone know about secrets just
Yeah,
yet, right?
right. We
Aside
can
from us,
shit later.
sometimes.
Right,
Yeah.
please. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jesse.
Am I good? Do I have enough shadow? Yeah. Okay. Good.
Hang on a minute.
Bring it in.
Final checks, please. Yep, first positions,
Uh,
turnover,
good.
mm,
All right.
Who is that guy you're
Check.
pointing to?
action.
Like a little.
Stage. Yuri's
Blah, blah,
life.
blah, 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 blah.
Oh my God! Can we have it quiet on stage left? I got a stick right here.
Off you go.
All right. Yuri's life had been a tumultuous journey shaped by tragedy and survival in the world shrouded in darkness. Born in Soviet-controlled Ukraine, Yuri and his brother Nikola grew up in a time of political unrest and uncertainty. Their lives took an unexpected turn when they found themselves caught in the heart of the Chernobyl disaster of 1986. At the age of 16, Yuri and Nikola experienced the horrors of the catastrophic events firsthand. Despite surviving, they were left scarred, both physically and emotionally, by the radiation that contaminated their bodies. Living in the streets, they received meager treatment for their radiation sickness, struggling to find means to survive. Desperate for money and further treatment, the brothers turned their life to crime. And unbeknownst to them, their illicit activities led them into the web of Dmitry Mendeleev, a vampire who had survived the disaster. I'm not sure if anybody actually knows who Dmitry Mendeleev is, but he was a famous alchemist.
Cool.
Just look it up. Google. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll find him. Uh, Dmitry, exploiting his own vampiric abilities, offered the child survivors diluted vampiric blood as a treatment for the radiation sickness. So trying not to make them ghouls, but just enough to keep them alive and healthy.
Right.
Yuri, a towering figure at 6'2", 280 pounds, possessed an imposing presence despite the scars that marred his torso and neck. His short black hair and striking green eyes contrasted with the remnants that remained because of the radiation's touch. Yuri's protective nature towards his brother was fueled by Nikola's smaller stature, often resulting in arguments that tested their bond. Yuri's role in Dimitri's employ varied from being an enforcer, debt collector, leg breaker, to working as a bouncer and silent co-owner of a bar in Kiev, where Nikola served as a bartender. The brothers toiled for 7 years under Dimitri's command, and this year length it was varied because I didn't really know where we were under Dimitri's command, enduring the brutality and corruption of the vampiric world. In 1993, Yuri and Nikola finally earned their right. So this is kind of like a stamp. This happened. 1993. Yuri and Nikola finally earned the right to be embraced as vampires themselves. Their post-embrace life led them to the work as enforcers for the local Archon in Kiev, and no names are given.
Okay. Cool.
Frequently engaging in clashes with the local Sabbat sect. However, as time passed, Yuri realized that his brother Nikola had taken a dangerous drive from their master Dmitri against a rival Sabbat alchemist. So this story hook, despite Yuri's vehement objections, tragedy struck when Nikola fell victim to the rival alchemist's treachery, meeting his final death.
I'm listening. I'm
Over
just going to take some notes.
Yep, that's fine. Overwhelmed by grief and anger, Yuri discovered that Dmitri had orchestrated the sacrifice, fully aware of the consequences for Nikola. To Yuri's astonishment, a local Archon, again left unnamed, who was aware of Dmitri's intentions, had given his approval, betraying their trust and brotherhood. Consumed by a burning desire for justice, Yuri made it his sole purpose to bring down both Dmitri and the Archon who had orchestrated Nikolai's sacrifice. For years, he meticulously planned, gathering information, building alliances, and biding his time until the moment was ripe to strike. Now, driven by the unyielding determination In the memory of his brother, Yuri embarks on a dangerous path. His quest for revenge, retribution will take him deep into the shadows of the world of darkness.
Well, that sounds very cool, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so NPCs that I need to develop include an Archon in Kiev, Dmitry.
Correct. And if you so desire, Dmitry Mendelev.
How do you spell it?
Dmitry and his last name, if you look it up on, just Google it.
Yep.
He's a famous
Alchemist.
alchemist.
Yep.
Mendeleev.
Mandaleev. Okay. Dmitry.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So the hope is that Mendeleev and his rival alchemist, who is within the Sabbat of in Kiev, will create, I don't know, something. I could think of there's sparks that just erupt, and because of the fact that
Now, what do you think?
Mendeleev was actually using his blood contaminated by whatever it is that you want to the survivors of the 1986 disaster that occurred. Who knows? Like
So
who got
contaminated.
infected by what?
He's using contaminated blood to affect the survivors, or contaminated blood from the survivors.
No, so Mendeleev took his blood,
Right.
diluted it, and probably cut it with something.
Right.
Who knows what? Right. Mendeleev was a Bruja, but there was a bit of an episode. I wrote some backstory from Mendeleev as well, but he didn't want to be a Bruja. Obviously, that's not his calling.
Okay.
If he was probably more along the lines of either a Ventru or somebody a little more. Pardon me.
Maybe Tremere, but
Tremere. Yeah, I don't know. I toyed with Tremere, but it didn't really fit. Didn't really sit well with the way his bent was. And I thought, you know what, it would be really interesting to have somebody who is an intellectual of that level, especially an alchemist from back in like the 17th century,
right.
to be embraced by a Bruja.
Right. Yeah.
So that he was constantly chewed at, by the beast, while his mental capacities were being challenged all the time. I just thought it'd be a really interesting
Okay. Cool.
way to drive somebody who was more necessarily an alchemist more than anything else. And then Yuri being infected by not only the early doses of whatever Mendeleev had to offer, but then also to be embraced by him.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Now, what do you think of the idea that Dmitry and this rival alchemist were once some kind of alchemical partners of some description? They worked together at some point. They had some kind of falling out. They split into different factions, or one of them got drawn into a faction.
Well, one is Sabbat.
Right, exactly.
Within Kiev.
Exactly.
The idea that I had was that the rival alchemist actually happened to be, and again, I hadn't really deep dove into this one just yet, but the idea that I had was either he was going to be Siberian, to like drive more home the separation of not only distance but also culture. Dmitry he was Ukraine.
Right. Okay.
But he's Polish Ukraine, but his rival could have come from a complete, not only Sabbat, but also the fact that he drove home a much more.
Does your character know much about this rival Sabbat alchemist?
No, not at all. And the only thing that he knew that this particular individual drove a portion of the underground, the Sabbat underground. Obviously, when he was turned, he was led privy to a little bit more information.
As you were an assistant or some sort of enforcer, essentially, yeah?
Exactly. So he'd basically been not bred specifically, but no, let me correct that. He was bred, because not only was he at that point of radiation sickness that he required treatment. I mean, he has scars up and all up and down his body. Like, if I remember correctly, there was a flaw that I could take that the scars that I retain in life also succeed within
Right.
undeath, correct? Yes. So that would be one flaw that would take, because it was just something that scarred him so severely, and whatever that Mendeleev actually had within that concoction just carried forward. It just carried forward all through, and it's something that he wanted to keep because it was a method of control
Okay.
to some degree, right? It kind of like, say X spy organization injecting something in the back of your neck and we're going to blow it up if you
Right.
so much as sneeze. Um, that was kind of the idea.
Okay.
But
So
this
it's
particular the rival alchemist and Dimitri, the idea was is that Dimitri did something dumb. The Archon of the city was like, you did something really stupid, but we want to be able to maintain some positive relations with the Sabbat, and that rival alchemist has something we want. So you need to give up something that you value in order to appease them. Yeah, it's gonna suck, but you got to do it. So Dimitri gave up one of the brothers, and he gave up the weakest of the two, and that he gave up Nicola.
okay. Cool. All right. So that's basically your backstory. How did you get to Chicago? Why are you in Chicago? Or do I want to engineer that for you?
And that was the question, because I didn't go beyond this because I wasn't sure what
All right. I mean, we could.
time period we're starting.
All right. Well, we're going to
So
start in modern day. So, do you want to start with like your airplane touches down on the tarmac, or do you want to start with you've been here for 3 months or 3 years?
I had I prepared for this. So in
Of
keeping in
course.
parallel with his previous experiences, he's a leg breaker. He is very family oriented. Um, he did a bar. Like he basically co-owns a bar, same way he did before. Um,
Okay.
I will build some of the character attributes and whatnot
So
to
he
meet this. But
co-owns the bar.
yes,
Do you have any ideas for the co-owner? Because we could make it like a player character owned bar.
yes, that's perfectly 100%. I didn't really zero on that. I just knew that he wanted to be a silent partner. Whoever is a main face
Okay.
is perfectly fine. You do it with as you will.
Right.
He's fine being a bouncer. He likes being out there. He likes greeting.
No,
He's a very
he's
personable individual.
right.
That's
So
the
high
weird thing,
charisma
right?
sort of character.
Correct. So a high
What?
charisma Brujah,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. No, very cool
With
actually.
scars.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so question. On the scale from extreme Camarilla to extreme Sabat, obviously not Sabat, or rather Anarch is probably the better term I want to use in this case. Where does he fit on that scale? Is he an Anarch at any level? He's a Bruja, but he is an enforcer, so I'm guessing he's somewhere not quite at either extreme.
So before the betrayal, he was full on, yay, Camaria.
Go the Camarilla, right?
Yeah. After
Yeah.
that,
Oh.
yeah, exactly. After that, it was like a bing
Has
to about
he
a
had
seven.
Yeah.
as an enforcer, right? There's sort of two general roles that enforcers and the Camarists tend to take. One is versus the Anarchs, keeping the Anarchs in line, which brings you into conflict with all of the Anarch philosophy. And then the other one, of course, is the Sabbat and their more extreme vampire philosophy.
Yes.
Has he had contact with Sabbat philosophy, or has he been sort of shielded from it in the way that
No. So Dimitri was very into the lack of information could be your downfall.
does
I'm
he
going
believe in
to does he believe in, sorry?
does he believe in Gehenna?
Oh, absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
Yeah. So, well, he believes in it. He believes in the glorification. He believes in the absolution of soul. Uh, it's one of the difficulties he's trying to overcome, as he knows what was done to him and his brother was wrong.
Okay.
He also knows that if it didn't happen, they would be dead.
Right.
But the grand betrayal of their confidence and of their of him and his brother at the hands of Dimitri and an Archon, as he discovered it. Now, this again is all predicated on, not direct information, but could potentially be hearsay. So somebody could be feeding him information. But based on what he knows thus far, is that the Archon and Dmitri in Kiev at that moment in time orchestrated the option or the ability and the opportunity for his brother to be sacrificed because of something that Dmitri did to fuck shit up between because the Camry and the Sabbats at that point in time. Right around was it 19? So probably about the early 2000s. Yeah, but the early 2000s, I would say 1999, early 2000s. So that's kind of, I was trying to fit it in with the early time period that we had said before.
How old is he?
He would have been 16, 22 at the time of Embrace. So he's 22 plus whatever we have going on right now. So
from Chernobyl, basically, right?
Yeah, so 1986 plus would be his age, and
So
as I wanted to actually build into it.
40, so he's sort of like 60 years old.
Yeah.
Together.
Yeah. So he's old. He's been around. He's seen some shit.
Let's come back to you, because I don't want to leave everybody else in the cold for too long. Let's talk about Barry's character. What have you got in mind, Barry? Anything yet? I just want sort of broad strokes right now. You can go as deep as you want. Obviously, you can go as deep as Jesse, who's done a fuck ton of that as an actual term.
Okay.
Did you expect anything less?
Yeah.
He's basically comes from a wealthy family.
Okay.
And
about Ventru.
Yeah, Ventru.
Okay.
And he.
So we're talking Chicago. Do you think he's like in the
No fucking way.
This is bloodline?
Two Ventrus?
Whose bloodline?
Loden's bloodline.
No.
He's not from Chicago?
No, he's not from Chicago. Okay. But they have got business there with their permission.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. They've got a business there, and they're interested in Chicago as a place of business and things like that.
Right, fair enough.
But he doesn't do what his family does. He rides bikes and that, and he's had dealings with the government.
Okay.
When he wasn't a vampire.
We talked briefly about this character. You were talking about like your dad was a senator or something like that?
Yeah, Dad's a senator, and that led us to the things like the CIA and all that sort of stuff.
So CIA background. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And he's got contacts, but at the moment he's trying to leave that part of his life.
Okay.
But they're kind of, he's faked his death. Okay. Because let's say he knows way too much for certain organizations.
Right.
And that's why he's in Chicago. He's literally a guy on a bike and, with a few retainers who are basically his bike. Yeah, his biker gang. Yeah. Right. And they're doing that as a cover.
Right. So biker gang cover, kind of wolf pack kind of thing.
Yeah, and they call themselves the I told you about the name. uh, you know,
Financially irresponsible.
no.
Right. Okay. Sweet.
Uh,
The blue bloods.
We're the most well-funded biker gang in the
Yeah.
what's the name?
You
You know,
come back with it when you've got it.
The gold diggers.
Here, could I make a suggestion? The
Everyone is.
arcs. The
arcs.
arcs. Now, there's two reasons for this. Not just biblically, because of how much shit actually consumes it, but because one of the top 10 most expensive motorcycle you can actually own right now is actually an ARC motorcycle, which costs $125,000, even just for an entry-level vehicle.
What the fuck?
And you remember, has anybody seen John Wick?
Of course.
Yeah.
Who hasn't?
Long time.
Anyone
You know
that
the
hasn't is ridiculous.
You know the vehicle, the motorcycles that are actually ridden in John Wick 3?
Are they them?
Those are ARC motorcycles.
Fucking
I
hell.
will send you the fucking link if you want to.
Why?
Lilith said the name.
And
Lilith.
Keanu Reeves is actually a owner of these. Of course he would be.
Of
But
course,
and it would be.
he loves dangerous vehicles.
Well, not just fucking dangerous vehicles. His collection of motorcycles, and I love motorcycles. So
Amazing.
yeah, there you go. There you go. Those are the ARC motorcycles.
They look beautiful, but nothing special.
Huh?
What are you gonna do, huh?
Like spoken for somebody who does not know anything about motorcycles.
I'm going to throw my 10 cents in here now. My 10 cents are that that's a really cool bike, but you should choose whatever name you want for your.
Oh, absolutely,
No,
absolutely.
no.
I'm just throwing shit out there.
But
No.
what if you have some connection to a motorcycle company? What if you've developed your own motorcycle?
Okay, but it was Lilith. Remember, you and I talked about Lilith, and you said she had another name.
Lilith.
Jezebel.
So many
Jezebel.
Isabel. Okay. So
Jezebel's Brood.
Jezebel's Brood. Okay.
That's what the gang's called.
Jezebel sounds like a better name for a motorcycle.
Eh?
It sounds like a great name for a motorcycle.
Well,
Seeing so most vehicles are named, yeah.
Like, you could just go with the Brood.
Brood's pretty cool.
I will go with the Brood then.
You didn't have to. I mean, I'm just
Actually,
saying.
yeah.
It sounds like a really cool name for a motorcycle. Like,
All right, the Brood,
Yeah.
and we've got a
All right, the Brood.
Even
if it's the Brood for short, maybe they were maybe that's part of the story. Is like you wanted to call it Jezebel's Brood, but your retainer was like, why don't we just call it the Brood? Or maybe everybody just keeps shortening it to the Brood, so you can bring it up all the time whenever you want. You know.
Yeah.
It's actually as ages go, it's like Brood.
Yeah.
All right.
So, because I mean, like, if he's Ventru, you don't have to be like one of these Harley gangs. You could be like a really modern bike crew.
Oh, you could be riding Triumphs.
It's a real modern bike crew.
You want to deal with that? Okay. Well, then you could be riding these ARC bikes or something like that. What the fuck is this? This is wicked. Check this shit out.
Okay. Are you going to force us?
Show me a motorbike I have not seen or ridden, please.
Check this thing. Hang on. Look at that. Can you see that? Oh no, not yet.
No.
What the
fuck? Have not ridden that.
It looks like it should fold into something you can store in your wallet.
It's a transformer.
I would believe that 100%.
Has anybody actually seen or read
Looks like something
Akira.
out of Tron. Yeah, I've seen Akira.
Mm.
So you remember Tetsuo's bike?
Yeah, that was fuck off. That was.
There was a German company that actually built that bike.
Let's
It
see.
actually had the ability to reverse the same sort of way that Tetsuo's bike did. Yep, look it up. No, Tetsuo.
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 No, it's UO.
Ye-
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
Motorbike. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Welcome to Google and Zed.
Right, this fucking.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's so adorable.
There you go.
Aw.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Fuck
cool.
that.
And like the wheels can go like sort of change the wheelbase.
So they actually collapse like this.
Ah.
It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Anyway, okay, so you're a bikey Ventru with a crew of modern motorcycle bandits, basically. Is that kind of what I'm getting?
Go Barry.
Are they bandits or are they like super modern businessmen with cell phones and laptops and shit like that? And
We have stuff like that at our hideaway.
you have a hideaway?
Yeah.
What sort of hideaway are we talking about? Are we talking about like a underground base or a boat or a train or?
So many
It's a-
tabs.
It's a underground, an old underground bunker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that in Chicago?
Yeah.
Okay. Is it underneath a nightclub by any chance?
Ooh.
It's too full. Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking if you were
There's
like
too many was it anti-delusions in there.
if you
I
were
was
a
thinking, like,
co-owner, if you're
He's building a fucking bat cave.
just listen to me for a second. If you were a co-owner of Jesse's character's nightclub, then you could have your bunker underneath the nightclub, and you guys would all have access to this complex. And it would help me greatly because then we have a team
Yes.
who are going to work together for reasons instead of me having to fucking nail everything together rivet by rivet, taking
No,
weeks.
I'm liking this. I'm liking this. I'm liking this. Barry, you liking this? You liking this? I see you liking it. I see the grin. I see that it's flourishing there.
Oh.
You don't have to, but I'm saying please.
No, Barry's gonna do it. He's gonna do it. He's gonna do it for me.
I'll do it so you both shut up.
We'll make it worth your while.
Yeah, all right, you better. All right, yeah.
Well, you know I will. You know I
Okay,
will.
okay, all right.
All right, cool. All right, so Charlie, let's hear your concept here. What have you got?
Okay, so my character's name is going to be Newbie. Her
Newbie.
she is it's
Okay, cool.
lowercase n 00, lowercase b, uppercase y. Then, I'm giving her the nameless floor, which is actually 5 points, but I'm okay with not take. I don't mind it reducing it to a 4, so I can actually keep it because I like it. That one just means that someone has pretty much taken her entire past
Right,
and
stolen your
just
identity, basically.
scrapped it,
Wow.
just like deleted it off the
Okay.
face of the planet,
Hmm.
which works for her. Even as a flaw, she's made it work. I want her to be a character that okay, so she has a mask on all the time.
We're talking about a Nosferatu hacker, right?
Yeah. Also a Nosferatu Kaitev.
KT.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll have a mask on, she will have like a hoodie, and just cover up entirely. Most nights she will either be spending her time trying to cause some havoc on the webs, on the weaves, or she'd be reading manga or watching anime, or she'd be like going to the local arcade. I kind of wanted her to live very close to the arcade so she can go there and just like boop, boop,
Question.
boop, boop,
So
boop.
can the arcade be part of the fucking nightclub or next to it, or is that getting too extreme?
Okay, hold
I-
on, Jesse.
Well,
Yeah.
there was a question. Is this like Akihabara type of nightclub? Japan, like Chiba
What do you want
type
to
of
do?
nightlife?
How do you
Or
guys?
is it,
Well,
you
I
know,
think it's got to mix everybody's sensibilities to some degree, so everybody's kind of happy with that, right?
well, that's kind of why I'm asking is
Yeah.
that you reckon what I'm talking about is Akihabara, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know,
So that
but I can guess.
so Akihabara is basically a night place out in Tokyo that
Specializes in
exemplifies.
electronics.
Right.
Yes,
So
like
cyberpunk.
yeah,
Little-
really. I mean,
I literally just
let's
finished playing that.
let's just boil that Akihabara down to just Japanese cyberpunk in the middle
Yeah.
of Tokyo. Yeah, cool. Yes, absolutely. Leave it at that. Good way to actually direct that. Not what Yuri and his brother actually created in Soviet Ukraine.
Right. Quite different to that.
Because that shit did not exist.
We're talking about like so I'm looking at some pictures of this and I'm seeing like Sega, massive Sega signs outside and fuckloads of colored lights and neon and shit like that.
Exactly, but that's kind of
It's kind of like a video gamey aspect.
Is there like a Chinatown sort of a Japantown in Chicago? I don't know because I've
For
never been
sure.
there.
For sure.
there
There
is, but
there
it's
is.
not
But
Akihabara.
Yeah, yeah. Of course not. Like Akihabara is
you're going to
Akihabara.
want your nightclub in the Loop, I'm guessing, which is the central city.
I'm trying to think of how to get that in the loop. Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so hacker, organized crime doesn't necessarily need to be directly related to that perspective, but Ventru, Barry,
Yeah.
being Mr. Moneyman. So we have club, and this
You
is
got
not
this.
beyond the realm of possibility. Yeah, I'm working on it. We have club, we have hacking. We also have a motorcycle gang that is also run by a Ventru, or like a rebel Ventru. Rebel Ventru? Yes, no Barry. Are you rebel Ventru-ish?
I feel like we should be anarchs.
Like I am that degree of anarch already. So
Okay.
What about you, Barry? Where do you stand?
I'm in the same sort of degree because I'm trying to keep a cover up.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, I'm in the same sort of degree. Even though that's a pretty bad cover to keep, it's still last place to look.
So we have hacker, who has the ability to isolate our digital presence within the 2023 era, and this is great because it actually, like, that's my job, that my life is actually in IT
Do what you
technology
do so
security.
I can refer to you. Just
Yeah,
listen.
so, and I don't want to think about that when I'm playing my character, so thank you very much. That's why I do this, is to escape from that. But so we have
Hilarious.
Barry. So yeah, I know exactly. It's awesome. So Barry is the moneymaker. He has the key components that are actually required in order to maintain our anonymity.
I was going to say, Barry, are you up for the idea that your character has some kind of motorcycle factory, or owns patents, or is somehow related to that?
Yeah. I still get the family stuff.
Do you want to have a motorcycle factory in Gary?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fucking
Look.
Gary.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like it.
Cool. Okay.
Gears are whirring. Okay, so we have the ability to be able to maintain a digital anonymity. We have somebody like Yuri, who is born in an age where technology was just coming up and rising, but was also segregated because of his disabilities and his
Well, his whole
vampiric.
life was affected by the atomic age, wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Well, he was literally the bomb. Thank you very much. Carry on. But also then infected by, as I will leave it up to you
Right.
to build that back story for
I will
the
like to
meat.
talk to you about your ideas for that, but we'll leave that for now because it's going to be a secret, right?
It will, and I do have some ideas, but yes, carry on. But we also we have three fronts that are perfect for this cover. We have the physical, we have the digital, and we also have the back, who is the moneymaker.
Right.
So we have everything that is required in order to maintain a loose, but very at arm's distance.
Right. Gonna be so,
We have a Bruja and a Balcave Catif and a Venture. How
Nosferatu.
are you guys?
sorry,
Are you guys
Nosferatu.
working together
Yes.
closely on this as a team, which obviously would be the best thing from my point of view? You know, a certain amount of conflict among you, but your bonds need to be better, need to be stronger than your conflicts ultimately. Like we have to have you guys bonded in a way that you need to work together, even if you don't like each other. Or,
So
or
Barry,
if you like each other, it was great.
no, here,
it's even better.
Barry, how do you feel about being one of the individuals that helped me get out of Kiev?
I don't mind. How much did you pay me?
I didn't pay you anything in dollars. I paid you in promises.
Boons.
Okay, that sounds
False
good
promises.
enough for me. Okay, yeah. I arranged it using our smuggling business.
Okay, so we have smuggling going on. All right, so it seems to me that there's some underground aspect to this as well, obviously. You're not just hiding from your pasts, but you're doing something. Smuggling what?
Smuggling whatever needs to be smuggled.
Yeah, we're talking about drugs, people, weapons.
Sometimes people.
Children.
Sometimes people.
Okay,
I'm touching nose here in the fact that we're also diving deep into vehicular espionage. How about we actually allow the exportation of high valued vehicles from Europe?
Right.
I was thinking that too. Okay.
So are you doing this under the rug? Well,
Well,
under the eye of the Camarilla.
Because oh fuck yeah.
Okay. Just because I know Loden would probably want a slice of that, being he's that kind of guy, and transport, or at least the Bruja.
Well, the brew, yeah.
Like Tyler.
Well, Tyler certainly controls the airways for sure.
Who does the waterways?
Waterways.
That's how you would get your vehicles across.
The waterways are woefully unguarded in Chicago.
That's why Sabat really can fuck people over using them. Excellent.
That's why they have.
Well,
yeah.
No, yep.
Bearing in mind that, of course, Chicago is a landlocked city connected to a lake that has rivers and canals that connect all the way back to the ocean eventually, but it's a fucking long way. And there's a lot of checkpoints to get through to Chicago from the ocean.
Yeah. That's why we have San Francisco.
Right.
I would have rescued you from your plight.
Yeah.
That's perfect. I like this.
Actually, I might have been on mission in those days.
You might have done it yourself, right?
Yeah.
You might have used the bike to get him out.
And then realized, hello, he's got uses. We'll keep him.
Yeah, because I probably really fucked some shit up during his early, I'm going to kill every Sabat, Camarilla, or whatever, because they killed my brother. And I could see Barry kind of like at that moment in time, like, I have an expert business. I see you have value. I could see Charlie's character also at that time, even in the mid to late 80s, there was still value for hackers.
Fuck yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Like, that was when I was running me personally, running as a black hat or gray hat, or whatever you want to call it. Well, no, it was a gray hat, but because that wasn't actually destroying things and blowing things up and holding people ransom. That's terrible.
But you could have,
Carry on.
and you wouldn't tell us if you had.
No, because then I'll have to kill you.
Ah.
But anyway. But no, so it would be perfect opportunity to have somebody brought in to apply a cover up during that transition. Oh shit, yeah, because that
I've got a thought too here. Motorcycles, modern
Wow.
motorcycles have chips in them, right? Computer chips.
Only motorcycles that it do are ones that actually are post 1996.
I'm thinking about something along the lines of whereby some sort of motorcycle is banned or chipped or something in certain parts of the world, possibly Kiev or even Russia. And there's some kind of, we're shipping in motorcycles, re-chipping them and then reselling them through and smuggling them to another location.
Okay. You would never see a Mustang. You would never see a Royal Enfield. You will never see a Porsche ever cross any particular border that actually required any papers. So one of the reasons why that there were so like muscle cars are so valued in Europe is because as soon as they entered into Europe, they actually escalated in value by 60%.
Wow.
As soon as they entered into North America, they dropped.
So Russian oligarchs purchasing really expensive vehicles from, America or what have you, have been involved with that kind of nonsense.
Like there would be fucking acres of Mustangs, Porsches, like any muscle car you can fucking imagine, they would have just acres of them.
You guys operate an international fucking vehicle shipping situation.
Like
That's up to Barry. That's up to Barry.
The one thing,
well, actually, no, Barry
pretty
and
much,
Charlie.
I'm just listening and taking it in.
Okay.
The one thing with my character is I'm going to be the person that finds you guys. Okay, so however you want to insert newbie, that's how she comes in. She finds you.
Can we have that happen either very first thing or happen as part of the prequel?
No, it's part of the prequel.
Right.
I do not exist if Barry did not exist. I do not, and he does not exist if Charlie does not exist.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. You guys are
he can't exist because she won't be there to erase the records, and he won't be there in order to enact the transportation and money required in order to move things across the water.
Right. And you've got in the old world.
Correct. And because I have been probably alive longer than Charlie.
I'd say so.
I would have slightly more contacts than she would, but I would not have the money or knowledge that she or Bear would have, and it allowed me to escape because of my prior transgressions.
Right. and active fucking intentions to stop you from leaving, I expect as well.
There were some active, yes, which was why I was fucking desperate and literally clawing my way out.
Right.
Which is.
So Barry, your character seems to me like kind of like a millionaire that's got or fucking squillionaire that has a fetish for super fast, super hot, super new bikes.
That sounds very true.
Sounds right. But it also has that.
Toreador,
it has a Bruja Lent. So yeah, totally works. I think it's very. I love this.
Yeah,
it's great.
What generation are we looking at? Is it fair to go similarly to everyone? Are we going 8 and 9 like we used to do?
I mean, if we're using V20, which is basically old school rules, but all of them in one place, yay. Then I believe 8th gen is as low as you can go with if you spend all.
I'd say so.
So yeah, I mean,
honestly, it will come down to you and how old is Vendilev.
Yeah, I mean, you're. I don't personally think it
Well, it matters a little.
It certainly matters mechanically to like how you survive and what you can do and so on and so forth. But from my point of view, in terms of like the lore and how you exist, I mean, it's
I
more
get where you're
realistic.
going to, but he's not an aggressive Bruja, though. He only exists because of family and protection.
Right.
Like, oh, you know what? He's Vin Diesel. Like, leave it.
You are Vin Diesel.
I just had that. Oh shit! I'm building Fast and the Furious.
Right.
Funny.
Actually, this is very Fast and Furious, isn't it?
Oh my god!
Please put all your points in drive, please. That's all you can do. Drive and care about family. So put up the drive, put up your empathy, specialize in family. Yeah.
Yeah. Damn it!
Good job.
But I love it Diesel anyway, so you know whatever.
If you're Ben Diesel, then I'm the Rock.
Can you do the eyebrow? There you go.
Don't tell me there's a gym in this nightclub.
It probably
German?
will be
No.
now.
A gym.
Oh, Jim. I was like, Germans no, like Jim no. Both. Niet. That's severe.
We can buy that empty shop over there and turn it into a gym.
Not much good to you as vampires, sadly.
No.
Kind of stuck with what you got. I mean, you can slowly increase your stats in that respect, but not as easily as a human.
I'm not gonna live in the sewer, by the way, and I probably don't know very many Nosferatu. I won't be sided by anyone that I know. I know.
Right.
Because as much as I adore them, was it Elizabeta and
right.
the others?
So you don't know who your sire was?
No, because I am a kaite, but it kind of makes sense. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Also, I'm nameless.
Right.
Newbie. Yeah. I go by Newbie. Yes.
Oh, cool. Excellent.
Okay. Try to figure out how they pronounce that in the Ukrainian accent.
Noob.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Because it wouldn't be straight you.
And the gang.
Like you? Or...
Yep. Barry.
The gang would be as big as things was, as the wolf pack. About that size.
5 odd people, basically. Okay, and are they all retainers?
No.
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 Are any of them retainers?
I've got a childer, and there are some retainers. You may choose which ones are retainers and which are,
And retainers. Okay, cool. Well, I'll come up with some ideas for that.
And they don't use their real names.
Yep.
Ever. Yep.
Okay.
Does the brood actually contain anybody else above and beyond the Ventru, or is it just like you're not really specific on what clans are part of the brood? Or
sounds to me like the brood is just Barry's character, Barry's childer, and Barry's character and childer's ghouls.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So
are you going to
gang. Like, I mean, they may have influence over other gangs, but it's more like a crew than a gang in the sense that a gang is usually, 20, 30, 50, 100.
And we've worked with other people to do other things to earn money,
Are you going to have issues with the wolf pack?
Well, that's a great.
Or do you think there'll be
I didn't know if
an understanding?
Well,
they would definitely work with someone like the Wolfpack.
Now, given this is a reboot,
I
might throw Terrace back in the mix.
It's
to kill him off again. Oh my god!
Who was the Wolfpack? Am I missing something, or is this a backstory that?
NPCs from Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actual NPCs.
Yeah, it's a reboot, so why not?
Tyrus is an Archon Tyrus of Clan Gangrel.
Okay.
So that you
So-
Okay. I think I act. Oh, yes. Okay, I remember. It was briefly mentioned in the last session. Yes. Okay.
So if you permit it, yeah,
I miss that so
our
much.
people would work with him and his people if they need us.
I love gangrels, but
Yeah,
I
they're
can't.
great.
I can't play them. Not well.
I played a hippie named Belladonna, and
Now,
you make it work, you know?
given that this is a reboot, are we scrapping everything and starting over, or are we going to include anything that happened from our previous games?
To be honest, I would hate to lose Arthur completely. I put a lot of work into into
Yeah.
him. Um,
I I thought if we were to start from scratch, it would mean that you have like everything back again, and you don't have to think
You don't have to scrap
20 years into the future.
no, I don't really care about that. I just I don't know. It's fine. I was like, if there was something that we could actually use from some previous characters moving forward 20 odd years, like, why not? Um, it, I don't want to make it too much of an arbitrary decision when it comes down to who, what, where, when, and why, but if it makes sense towards the narrative,
right.
why not?
I'm inclined to do a pretty much like a 90% reboot, with a few bits and pieces that we can refer to. Like maybe there once was a group called the Chicago Queen Coterie, who may or may not have existed. They may or may not have done any of the things that we said they did. They may or may not have been forgotten. You know, they could just come up as historical kind of characters, where some of the shit happened in the past. But that being said, we can change that history as well as much as we want. How do you feel about that?
Yeah,
Barry?
having control of the narrative is great.
Well, I tell you what, I'd have gotten into that idea of my other characters and made money on that, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I'm a little bit more hesitant. It would, yeah, 90% is probably good. Like I love my characters, I do, I like really do. But a part of me is like, if we don't scrap this all, I'm going to think about wanting to bring other people back in,
Right.
such as Mercy, or playing her like kids or whatever.
I do. Yeah, I mean, I kind of do agree with you there. It does feel like if we don't reboot it, we're going to end up bringing back all the old characters, and it'll get messy fast.
fair enough. So I rescind my previous introduction only because I was so new.
I mean, you also care. You put a lot. You did put a lot of effort into Arthur. We put a lot of effort into our characters as well.
Yeah, I mean, these
as
guys
much as you.
like
You're
2
insane.
before we came in. So Barry's
Yeah.
been in this world on and off for like 20 years, maybe even longer than that. So he's had a lot of games in Chicago, and we've kind of had to throw a lot of it out, which is sad in a way, but it's good in the reboot sense because it's sort of fresh again. You can enjoy some of the NPCs that have died and some of the storylines that have kind of happened in new and different ways.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's like I've been running a campaign for the better part of 15 years.
Yeah.
And I've been building my world because of that. And I build it organically.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel that the methodology required to do world building needs to have a period of mourning.
Yeah.
It's required.
Well,
It's almost cathartic to a certain degree, really, because I think I'm at like it's like I'll use an example. My daughter has had a couple of boyfriends, and I've had a couple of campaigns, and I haven't been able to complete them because
You
she
have
hasn't
a
been able to.
daughter?
Yeah, oh yeah, I have two.
You have
But
2 daughters?
yeah.
How old
No,
are they?
29 and 26.
Oh my god.
Best
You are
thing
such
about
an
a
Yeah,
old man.
I know.
best thing about a reboot is sex
But
money
here's the thing.
come back.
I'm almost 50. I know I don't look 50.
You
I
do not. You
appreciate
really
it.
don't.
Yeah. I don't sound 50, and I applaud my genes.
Mm.
However, my point being,
Oh my
there
god.
needs to be a period of mourning in between these stages, but it doesn't mean you need to forget. Doesn't mean that what happened didn't happen.
We've got it
You
all
can
on
carry
tape.
it forward. You can bring it back. You can create it and migrate. You can integrate, and you can build that as part of the overarching story. It's just like you don't need to lose the narrative, right? And that's what I love about that. And it's just like it's just like just build it in. You just build it in. However you need to, just
The best
don't
part about
lose it.
this reboot business is sex money gets to come back.
Sex money.
Just
Yeah.
to die multiple times again. Because you keep resurrecting him.
Yeah, well,
And
this time I can be consistent,
yes.
right?
Well, we'll all try to be consistent, won't we? Also, yeah.
Yeah. I said
Right, yep.
I can try and be consistent. That's what I said.
And Jesse, if he's ever not consistent, you make sure he knows. Okay.
I'm
You
pretty
tell
sure
him.
I haven't been quiet.
That's true. You really haven't.
Okay, right.
Okay, so has anybody else got any retainers? Charlie, does your character have a retainer?
I want animal retainers.
Animal retainers, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Can they plug shit in?
Yeah. Yeah, they do.
So they have.
I have 3 points in animal kin, and I have 1 point of animalism, which is good enough to talk to them.
Okay.
I don't know if I can.
Do you think you would be primarily utilizing? Rats are obvious, but
Yeah, rats are obvious, but maybe I want to try something different because I like to
monkeys.
do that. Monkeys are pretty cute. I don't know if that's the
Spider
vibe.
monkeys are creepy.
I think turtles.
Turtles.
No.
Yeah, that's for sure.
That AC. Like reflect the shield. Yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that, but I do like the idea of animals. Rats are pretty obvious, but too obvious.
Right.
I think snakes, honestly, giving subterranean, giving where we are, how we're actually trying to approach this,
Snakes.
being very. Pardon me?
How many
America.
snakes are in Chicago?
Lots.
Really? Wow.
It's America.
Yeah, rattlers, I guess. But...
The Chicago State Zoo. Dude, look it up.
And
Get
like,
out of
they
fucking
can
New
have
Zealand.
They can have pit snakes as well, so.
No, like seriously, there is a Chicago State Zoo.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, I'm just sort of thinking like wild animals, to be fair, but yes, okay.
Well, I mean,
when you go down that road, we have snakes in New Zealand too, but we don't have snakes in New Zealand.
Well, go to Florida. You're basically New Zealand.
Plus some alligators and some rednecks.
Exactly.
Those could be my creatures of choice, just alligators.
Alligators in the
yeah.
That's classic.
I honestly thought you were gonna say rednecks. I was order my crave rednecks. I'm like, yes.
Rednecks. Keeping rednecks as retainers.
I can speak to them.
Speak to rednecks is a special ability that you get.
Oh, yeah. I had a thought.
Here you go.
Give me a second. Conspiracy theorists
Lizard people.
Retainers.
Oh.
No, that's what I'm talking about. You, hacker, conspiracy theorist, just haunt those boards like, oh shit. Yes.
Creating
Like,
conspiracy theories.
You want me to be a conspiracy theorist, or do you just want me to?
no, you create the conspiracies.
Honestly, I could see my character doing that, especially wild ones that she might have seen from like manga, reading manga or something.
Doesn't matter what exactly. It's like I just throw this shit out on the boards, the conspiracy theorist boards. I create it, I control it.
Trolling.
These are my retainers. These are my people. Why? Because I can create the narrative and how they actually approach their life. I create the narrative and how they actually approach me, which is
I'm going
not
back
all.
to Texas.
Going back to Texas.
I'm going back to Texas.
Well, with your money.
Yeah, I'm taking the money too. Yeah.
I'm seeing your dad as so Barry, your character's dad is like a cowboy senator from Texas. Is that about right?
A very
God.
rich cowboy senator from Texas.
God damn, let me hear you. Texas accent like right now. Yeah, come on. Yeah.
You should play his dad. Okay, cool. Does anybody have any children from real life before they died, before they were embraced?
No.
No? Cool.
Nicola has one child.
Okay, and that's like an actual human child.
Yes.
Okay, and how old are they, and where do they live, and what do you know about them?
Well, it's a perfect connector point because I had it hovering, depending upon where it would happen in the era. In Chicago is a perfect connector point. She is at that point in time would be, oh shit.
Oh my god.
She'd be 42 years old in Chicago.
Aw.
My niece, I have no idea who she is, what her name is. That's up to you.
Okay.
Because it was just one of those, if it happened and the question was presented, I had an answer.
What about birds? Pigeons.
Pigeon.
Pigeons. Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah.
Kill
No.
them all.
Oh.
I hate birds.
What are the most useful
Perfect. I'll go birds.
birds in the sewers?
I thought we were going
No,
fucking snakes.
My character is not going to be living in the sewers.
Okay, she doesn't live in the sewers. So
No.
does she live in the club? Does she live in the base, like Barry's base? Is there a server room in there that you inhabit?
Part of me wants to live quite close to, or like, well, maybe not rent or something. Maybe
it's an arcade.
maybe yeah. I either want an arcade. I mean, I could do an arcade with like a hidden area, which would be like my gaming.
What
area.
What if I suggest to you that there is a building that has a club, a nightclub, an arcade, and like an internet cafe?
Yep.
There's like a underground rail station kind of next to it.
Offer a suggestion.
Yeah, go for it.
It's in my wheelhouse. Has anybody seen Hackers, the movie?
I have. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Watch it again.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
Is it accurate?
So, not at all, but it's very cool, and it actually what RK was just talking about.
Yeah.
Like, pin. So, a lot of the old school arcades, especially back in like the late 1980s, really exemplified like big arcade exposés. So like it'd be like if you're sitting in the middle of like Akibara and somebody hit a high score, right?
Right.
The difference is though everything that happens doesn't happen here. It happens 12, 13, 14, 200 kilometers away. Could it happen in Europe is where the actual data farms actually exist.
Right.
But what actually happens, so data's there, what actually happens is here.
Right.
So in hackers, when they're actually doing that really cool scene where it means absolutely nothing other than the fact that I can beat your score, right? And that's kind of what I'm thinking is that what Barry is doing is that he's coming over, he has the money, he does what he does, and then what you do is basically this weird sort of like hacker behind the scene, you know, expose of what's actually happening out in 2023. You know, here's what the new malware is, here's what we're doing in Sleepy Sense, this is what we're actually doing in DBRK, and sorry, I'm using some terminology.
Nobody knows what
Yeah.
you're talking about now.
Sorry. Yeah, I know. I get into that, but it's just that's my ballywhack. So, reconnect. Do you remember what actually happened back in the mid '80s when we actually had arcades? Did you actually have arcades back in the day?
Yeah, we still have arcades.
Oh, fuck yeah, like love that. So here, no, we don't have it. Canada doesn't have it. UK, or sorry, in the United States, this is not a thing. But back in the day when we could actually walk in and we can literally walk up to a huge machine that had two players and we can do like fucking like
For sure.
Street Fighter. Street Fighter was my that was a shit.
Used to go
Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Love it.
Damn. Fuck.
What?
So anyway, love that shit. So back in the day, we had like two people side by side, like here, me here, like and like this huge screen. We're fucking like battling it out. That's kind of the shit that that I was envisioning. But at the same time, what we're also talking about when Vin Diesel back in like some of his earlier shit, like with Triple X. Do you remember Triple X?
I definitely don't. I would have seen it, but I don't.
Okay, so anyway, it was like this whole like alt what would you go alt electronica kind of, we've got video games going on, we've got this shit going on, we've got this shit going on, but it's all very relative. But Barry is the one who is really holding the background and trying to maintain the fact that okay, you guys need to realize that we're trying to keep everything down low. We want to be able to maintain profitability, but at the same time, we're also trying to, you know, bring the shit to the Camarilla and, you know, keep the spot off our ass, right?
And there's also a bit of a fuck you to the system.
Exactly. I was trying to build up to that. I'm like, how do I get there? I'm building this fucking story in the narrative in my head, but it's like I'm fishing.
We ain't gonna let you anywhere near the games room. That's for sure.
Oh man. Well, you'll stand
Are you
aside.
trying to say that maybe Barry could own it, or what are you trying to say here?
No, Barry is totally owning it. He owns it 100%. But the
Okay,
fact
sweet.
that I'm a partner and you are the person that basically protects us from any sort of cyber terrorist attack is very key in poignant when it comes down to maintaining any sort of anonymity. But what we're go ahead.
New question. So Chicago is a economic hub with a large stock market. Obviously, in the 80s, we had a lot of schemes going on with hackers doing things like inserting viruses into bank systems and stealing like 0.001 cents off every transaction and making squillions of dollars and then only getting caught because they were buying Lamborghinis.
Point of verdict, there actually weren't malware or viruses, they were exploitation.
Right. So thank you for pointing that out. I didn't know how to frame it, but you know what I'm getting at, right? Do you have any kind of influence over the markets or what have you? Are you trying to fuck with the Camarilla's system, especially the Ventrus? Because the Ventru own those fucking markets, right? They're making billions of dollars off the stock exchange. And as a hacker, that might be something that you might be interested in.
I think Newbie will probably want to try. She's a Nosferatu. It's sort of built in them to gather information. So I want to know lots of things about everyone, as well as trying to protect our enterprise.
Right.
I don't need to steal anything from anyone, not yet anyway.
Would you be interested in trying to hack SecureCorp, for example?
Ooh,
Because
I'm sure that SecureCorp
you would know the name Weatherbottom.
for sure, yeah. For sure.
So yeah.
I would probably see him as a rival, but I don't want to approach him yet.
Right, no, for sure, yeah.
I think it'd be kind of cool if one day if I need him to help me, I could send it to him as a virus or something.
Right.
That only he could decrypt. De-encrypt? What's the word? Decipher. What's
the decrypt? Decrypt is
okay,
the
sweet.
nomenclature. Yep.
Excellent.
You need computer course to play this character.
Yeah, well, I will learn just by asking Jesse, and he will love that.
Of course.
Because I'll be playing a Bruja.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, with muscles.
I'm sure there's lots of things Newbie can do. I think she would be trying to push the limits. If she sees a limit, she'll be wanting to push them to see if she can.
Digitally, not physically, correct?
Yeah, digitally. She is not that great physically.
Okay, what about
she's all right.
Let's talk about characters in terms of their own personal inner conflicts. Like what's actually making them tick? What are their weaknesses? What are they afraid of?
Barry.
You're afraid of Barry.
You're afraid of Barry.
No, I'm saying Barry should be the first person to say about this because he's the moneymaker. Really, he is a linchpin.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for him, we would not be in North America right now.
It's soft.
It's a fat moth.
What hold does he have over you?
The hold he has over me is that I'm in North America because of him.
But you could just leave. You could fuck off to Los Angeles or something. Why don't you do that?
Because he knows of, and I'm bringing this just as broad hyperbole. He knows where either Dimitri or the Archon is, or somebody he knows of knows where they are that I can track.
So he could dob you.
My entire life right now is trying to find that Archon who is now either Archon or is deviated off into becoming something else. And Dimitri, who has become something else, or as an X component, I am leaving. I had to leave Kiev, Ukraine, because of the shit that I did. That, well, basically, like let's throw a spot, let's throw a grenade. Oh, you know what? That's not enough. Let's throw napalm in there because that just didn't create enough shit. And I needed a way to get out. And Barry created that way out because I had connections to people that actually knew about motorcycles, vehicles of a transport.
Is it also like you guys are comfortable working together? Like you've got a network and you've got a system and you've got a business that seems to be working and you're making a lot of money that way. Don't fuck with a good thing kind of situation.
I would say it's true.
The other thing I would say is I know who he wants to fuck with. And I think he's out of his little tiny mind, because if he takes this guy on head to head, his head is going to come back to me. And that's going to cause shit for me. And I don't want shit.
How many of you, if any of you, or how are you all legitimately living in Chicago? Like, have you been introduced to the prince? Does the prince know you're here?
I think for Newbie, the reason why she isn't
very good
leaving,
question.
because she totally could, is because she is using our venture friend as a shield,
Right.
because she doesn't
And he's
want
got
to
high
meet.
speed internet.
Yeah. Fiber, fuck yeah.
No, not just fiber, dark fiber.
Dark fiber.
Ooh.
That's amazing. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would like Newbie to not meet people, Camilla, the higher ups,
Mhm.
for as long as possible,
Sure, yeah.
because she's trying to remain anonymous.
No, that makes sense. So does she just avoids vampires generally?
I think it's probably a good way to look at it.
Okay.
Yeah,
How old is she?
meeting vampires causes trouble. She'd be younger than JC's character. Is it Yuri? Is Yuri?
Yuri. Yep.
Yuri?
Yuri. Yes.
Yuri?
Not so difficult as Nikolash.
Just for the sake of
Yuri-chan.
my brain, can you guys change your names to your character names?
Yuri-chan.
Barry, do you got a name for your character yet?
Jonathan Lancer.
Jonathan Lancer, nice.
That's fucking tight. That's a good name.
Where are these? It's so good. So
He
good.
literally just pulls them out of his ass and throws them in the air. Like, that's it. That's golden.
Yeah.
Just rains down.
Sure.
Rain's gold. Excellent. Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so trying to avoid that. If I need to, I will contact people, because I'm pretty sure I could find out information about the vampires
And I
in
don't
the city.
think Jonathan Lancer could actually get away with not knowing
The
or
prince.
being introduced to the prince.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
fact,
for sure. For
That's
sure.
pretty
like,
solid, yeah.
For sure.
Amongst
And
no, he couldn't, because one, his family is amongst the vampires a high lot,
Right.
and they know people like they battle with. When I say battle, I don't mean literally.
Yeah.
I mean figuratively. With Ivanovic's lot about, who's going to get this account and so forth and so on.
Yep.
Then you
Lips
muted
moving.
yourself. Yeah.
So I'm thinking
Against each other, sort of,
probably-
sometimes.
No, I
from
gotcha.
time to time, Jonathan Lancer may visit Elysium and run into some of the elders.
Yeah.
I mean, you said that you might have some contact with the wolf pack, so, Archon Terrace and what have you.
Yeah.
And those meetings probably do happen at Elysium rather than... I mean, maybe sometimes they could be on the streets.
I think I would like to know what happens in Elysium, though. So I think, I would have a way to infiltrate it without actually going.
Yes. Like cameras.
Because I know...
Considering modern technology, we're talking about CCTV, we're talking
bearing in mind a couple of things. Elysium is highly fucking secure. SecuraCorp runs the security, and the Nosferatu already have this stuff covered. And if you're not connected with the clan in the city, I mean, maybe you could have hooked on to their surveillance, maybe.
What, with an alias, maybe? Use a reputable Nosferatu source from out of town.
There are two ways you can actually do that. You can actually piggyback somebody getting into and beyond the existing security, or you can do a outside social hack to somebody who already has access and who is providing you access to those internal systems. So say a retainer.
I think this would make a better objective than something that you already have.
Yes. Yes. Because I was going to say, if Nibby was to say have a retainer within the system, that wouldn't be beyond the realm of possibility.
The question is, how do you get a retainer into that system? They're very, very careful. They can read auras. Like they can.
That's true.
Aminals.
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, that's true.
For
Yeah.
aminals.
Your animals wandering around the Chicago Art Institute kind of get noticed, and the vampires go, "Oh, are the Gangrella in here?"
Well, they should be in there. They are part of the Camarilla.
Yeah, they shouldn't be flying
Yeah.
bats around, and there's snakes and there's
We'll
spiders.
have to figure out ways, because I doubt it would be impossible. It'd just be very hard, very, very, very hard to do.
I think you should do it in game. I think that's something that
Yeah.
you should do in game. It'll be fun to do in game.
Yep. That's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Yep. Give her a motive.
For
Something
me,
to do.
Yuri would be staying very much far away about most of Chicago's intrigue. I maintain. I bounce. I keep people out of.
Yuri would know that in Chicago, let me just get my Chicago notes. First of all, the Bruja, some of the Bruja in Chicago, you would know of Critias. Now, Critias is a very, very old Greek vampire from very ancient times, who happens to be found mostly at the university, lecturing on philosophy. Funnily enough, now he may or may not be of interest to you. You would probably be of interest to him if he was to know that you were here. You would probably know about Tyler, who is the Primogen counselor for Clan Bruja. Tyler is British originally. She's kind of like pockmarked kind of face, and she is from. She runs the Chicago Airport O'Hare. You probably know about Hank Cave, who is a pretty prominent, well-known anarch who runs a nightclub called the Blue Moon. Those would be the main ones that you would know about. And there is a Bruja enforcer. They call him Balthazar. He's basically a fucking cowboy, and he's a right shit. So yeah.
Sounds like somebody you would be actually read up. Like so far, Hank and Balthazar are both right up his alley.
Right.
Aw.
Now,
I remember Balthazar fondly.
right. That was hilarious.
It was so good.
In
Kratos, maybe, I guess, as a
Critias, not Kratos. Don't confuse Kratos with
Kratos.
Kratos, God of War.
Love that.
Game.
That's what I looped into it. Yep.
Gary also has. Let me see if we've got any Bruja and Gary. Well, you would have heard of Juggler.
Juggler, S in the vein.
Gus used to call him Juggy.
Yeah, Gus is dead.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Okay.
We're all rebooting this.
Yeah. I know, but we're talking about Gus.
Okay, got it.
Fun times.
Yeah. Jesus, that's a lot of Bruja.
A Juggler is not necessarily a Bruja. He may be KT for possibly something else. Nobody knows what he is, but he is the head of the Anarch movement in Gary. And he's kind of like the unofficial Prince of Gary, even though there is in fact a Toreador prince in Gary, whose name is Modius.
Okay.
You've heard that Modius is a bit mad. I did mention he was Toreador, I think. I just said that. You know that Prince Loden has a huge Ventru brood who are pretty much, they lock down the city in most cases, in most ways. What do we got here? I'm still looking at Gary. Right. So I mean, Prince Loden, whose full name is Loden Olaf Holt, he has 5 laws that you would know about. Have you read those before? Have you seen them, or have I had access to them? If not, I can.
Yet.
Yeah, I don't believe he was in Chicago, so he never needed them.
Post into the chat here. I don't know. No, it won't. Okay, so let me do a screenshot and give you this thingy. Oh crap! That doesn't work. One moment, please.
I mean, I like sparrows. Maybe we'll just go with sparrows. They're nice.
It's
Pigeons are chunkier, but sparrows are small. They can get into the little crevices, and they're adorable as fuck.
Aren't they?
Yep.
Say that.
So cute. Sorry, you hate birds. It's unfortunate.
Sparrows could eat, roast them or like midnight fire.
There's no need to roast sparrows. There's nothing to them.
In Soviet Ukraine, you get what you get. Rashpatinya, Marasuka, Pashiya.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to figure out what kind of accent I want.
JPEG in the chat for you. So just quickly to reiterate, none shall kill or leave behind evidence of their feasting. Do not harm travelers. Do not mess with the press. Keep the sanctity of Elysium. Do not hold commerce with Loden's enemies. Those are the basic tenets.
But the only thing that Yuri would have a problem with was to keep the sanctity of Elysium.
Right. Now, what else we got here?
Do not hold commerce with it. No. No.
Oh no.
We'd keep commerce, so whoever would you have fun, we do have funds.
I mean, we're gonna be bourgeois, right? Like, we're never invited to things like that.
Well, the way I designed Yuri was I didn't really think about it at the time, but it was like, yeah, you know what? It's Vin Diesel.
It is Vin Diesel, yeah.
Which irritates me a little, but at the same time, I'm like, all right, I can deal with that. I can roll with it. It's
yeah.
Fine. Okay, cool. What about weapons and stuff? Does anybody have weapon proficiency?
I've given baseball bat. I've given newbie a lot of firearms because she'll go to the arcades a lot.
Okay, right. So
she's practicing her gun skills there, and there's like the duck hunt.
Right.
I don't.
So she has speciality in like,
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty. That's so good.
Really good at Call of Duty. But you give her a Glock and she's like, it's still on safety. Like, why isn't this working? Why is it so heavy?
And then I gave her some melee for a similar thing. I wouldn't mind maybe giving her a little bit of performance just because of Dance Dance Revolution. For that alone. Yeah.
Hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. So I might
Barry,
drop that down, give her one in there.
What skills you got?
I have military training.
Right, because he's ex-CIA, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Military training, weapons. I can fight my way out of a matchbox if I need to.
Okay.
Just got to find a matchbox and
Okay, so Barry, in terms of venture disciplines, what do we got? Presence, fortitude.
Ooh, we're gonna have a lot of fortitude. This is nice.
I don't have any fortitude.
You're
Mine's
fine.
Okay, that's true. I won't even be there. I'll be at
Exactly.
Fortitude and dominate is your other basic discipline.
For newbie, I gave her this is before freebie points because I just need to know what generation I'm doing so I can figure out where to put everything. But I've given it 2 obfuscate and 1 anemism. Aneurysm. Yeah. This is just 3 points at the beginning. I might have another point coming to put it somewhere. Actually,
why animalism?
Because I want to talk to animals and I want to control animals. They could be my little ghouls of the night. Or the day.
This makes sense. You just don't understand why, but this is
Yeah.
You might.
I know animalism.
Might
It's
have
not
a
the best,
little in
but-
explosives.
Explosives.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'll give you 2 dots in explosives.
Yeah, that's cool.
By the way, it seems we've been vampires for at least a little bit. Do we have any extra, I don't know, just extra XP to put places? I'm not being cheeky, I'm just like asking genuinely. Just in case.
Well, I suggest that we make your character as rules as written, and then we talk about it and see what it is that you think you would need to buff that up and meet the expectations of the characters that you've created. Start off from that point of view.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
Barry, is your character good looking, or is he ugly as fuck?
Well, he is good looking. It helps when you're undercover to be reasonably looking, you know, so you can charm a young lady or, you know,
Young man.
yeah.
Use his
young man, and he's probably done that a couple of times.
Right.
If I were you, I would prioritize manipulation and charisma, and then put what you can into appearance. Because of your disciplines, the discipline. I mean, you've got presence and you've got dominate.
Right.
Here's the dynamic that I thought would be approachable. Is that Yuri is the large, looming, unassuming individual with a deep, penetrating green eyes, short black hair, who just hovers there, but doesn't want anybody to be around him. Where Barry is there and he is the moneymaker. He's moving things around. He's moving like this shit is going down. And then all of a sudden Yuri goes like, what? Why? Like, what? This is not making any sense. We thought about this. Did we not think? Yeah, we thought, but then Jonathan's like, shut the fuck up.
I like that dynamic. That's cute.
But you tell me, you're telling me to shut the fuck up.
Yes, I am.
It's that kind of dynamic where, yeah. Where I have a physical dynamic when it comes down to presentation, where Jonathan's like, literally, I have like all the money, all the wealth, all the nuance that you don't have. So sit the fuck down.
True.
My was it nameless? Okay. Nameless makes it very hard for me to take like social merits. So I'm not going to be social at all, which makes so much sense.
Yeah.
I wear a freaking mask.
So Barry, I've put so far, and I'm not really counting. I'm not really counting points at the moment. I'm just throwing stats at your character.
You said to do it the
yes.
do it the right way.
Yes. Well, I will balance the books.
Okay.
I mean, I can help you. We've done this a bajillion times.
All right. Well, you've got access to his character sheet, so please feel free to go in there and fuck with it.
Okay, let's see what you've done.
I haven't touched anything yet.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5.
Fortitude is really useful for bike accidents.
You need one extra point in one. Okay, so it's 3, 5, and 7 extra points. So you need to take one away from one and probably in the mental, and then add one to social somewhere. Not you, don't worry. You're good. We're good. Russell can.
So add one to social.
I assume social you want 7 points, 7 extra points.
Yeah.
And then take. Oh yeah, you've done that for mental. That's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
Bearing in mind freebie points at the end, right?
Yeah, it's better if you just take them off and then add them later once you've got sorted. Okay, the way that the book says in the second edition, which is kind of
20.
yeah, but yeah, I'm not sure about the rules for that. But when you're making a character, you can't exceed 3 points unless you spend your freebie points on it.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll knock down. I'm good with that.
It's one of the only reasons they actually try to maintain min-maxing.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And then one area of the abilities, one line of them will have 13, one will have 9 points, and the other one will have 7.
Yep.
He's counting.
Yep.
Yep. 2, 3, 4.
Okay, we might bring explosives down to 1. For now, at least. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You got one more point. I
One
believe.
more point to play with.
Yeah.
What happened to Isaac? Jesus, he was like
Went to
fucking
bed. I believe.
Jesus.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, you need
Ricky.
2 more points in talents.
I don't know.
Unless you're not doing 13 in that one. Are you doing?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, sweet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Needs one more. I'm trying to think.
So if you're doing 13 in talents, you'll have to bring down skills down to 9 probably.
Yeah.
I'm kind of wobbling on how the dynamic is going to work with I and Barry, even though I am a co-owner. I'm trying to maintain the bar out of memory of my brother.
Aw.
So it's how do I do that? Maintaining memory and allowing Barry to keep majority control. Like is that a holding? Is that a resource? Isn't
it more like, well, you said you wanted to be a silent partner, right? Are you sure you wanted to be silent?
Yeah, 100%. Like, honestly,
He
Yuri gives
can't be a public partner because he will be found.
Exactly. I cannot be found.
Okay, right.
That is.
But I mean, like
undertone.
But you can do things like maintain the bar, etc. Like you can do that much.
Nope.
Nope. You don't want to do any of that. Okay.
Nope.
What,
I am.
You just want to sit there and drink.
What is a day?
No.
What does his night look like?
Yeah.
His night. Well, do we want to get true emo? But
Yes.
uh,
But yeah,
I
this
know.
looks good, Russell. Looks good.
Cool.
And then you put
Uh,
1 point each. Yeah.
so every day when Yuri comes into work, he places a business card on the edge of the table, which represents his brother entering
Aw.
into work. He then goes to the front door and he stays there the entire night unless
Inside or
something else.
outside?
Outside. He is a bouncer.
Right.
So his overall presence and remuneration when it comes down to maintaining his presence of being is just there, being there for somebody, for someone, some personage. It doesn't matter what it is. When it's why he gravitated toward Newbie is because she needed somebody, like not not because she needed somebody, because he was like, you know what, I'm here because she needs somebody
She
to
found
be
you.
outside.
You wouldn't
Exactly.
have found her, right? She found you.
Exactly. So, but the only reason I was there because of that was because of Jonathan, because he pulled me out of Soviet Ukraine at a point in time
Right.
where I was at a point of devastation.
It seems to me that Newbie would have found Jonathan Lancer before she found your character, because he's obviously the face of the operation. He has the legitimate aspect of it. He has the technology company in a fairly high profile, despite his undercover nature. He's living inside of a legend, if you like, to use the term.
The difference being is that I actually had the physical
Presence.
component, not the physical presence, but I also knew the people that had the cars, motorcycles that Jonathan was needing for his customers to
Right.
support his business. So that was the only reason that I can see that he would actually see me as a supporting opponent. It's like, okay, I know you need to get out of Ukraine.
Can I throw in a
But
thing here? I was thinking, like, if he's got like this motorcycle factory, I was assuming he was exporting bikes and maybe other vehicles to Ukraine, to these Russian oligarchs, which you were facilitating.
reverse that. They don't need that. The importation of that is not required. It's the exportation of European vehicles, motorcycles, whatever it is, to North American buyers are required.
Really?
It's the complete inverse.
Why would
Complete
why
inverse.
would American markets want Russian or Eastern European
Mm,
vehicles?
It's not they want their vehicles, it's the fact that they actually have them as a lower export value.
Hmm.
We're talking right now, when we're talking now 2023 export values. We're not talking about back 20 years ago.
Right.
So it's a very different economical dynamic. So when I, as Yuri, trying to get out, I have what to offer? Pretty much nothing other than my contacts. What are my contacts? I have European oligarchs, whether they're Ukrainian, Russian.
Right.
I have contacts in CCP. I have either contacts to Japanese that have access to certain vehicles, even illicit vehicles that do not actually meet our market, allowed to the North American individuals through normal means. That is literally the only marketable opportunity that Yuri has right now. Because when Jonathan's like, well, I know you need to get out. What the fuck do you have to offer to me? I have my contacts. That is it. These European contacts, these vehicles, we're talking Mustangs, Porsches, we're talking old fucking like Triumph, we're talking like a Shovelhead, 1963 fucking,
I am still
or
a bit confused. Like, who the fuck wants to buy these American cars from Russian oligarchs? Like, wouldn't you just buy them from Americans that already have them?
no, because they don't have them.
The Americans don't have their own cars?
No, they don't.
What?
They literally do not. Oh my God. Okay, you know what? If you want to get into a discussion, I can. This is a topic of conversation, dude.
Okay, so what you were saying is
We,
the Russians have the classics.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the Russians have the classics.
The North Americans do not actually have access to some of the key classic vehicles the Europeans do. They basically, there's just, it's ridiculous. It is fucking ridiculous. We can actually look at a Porsche 911 from a eight, oh no, not 1996. We can bring that up. 1996. They do not exist. They do not exist in North America, not in any shape or form when it comes down to a deliverable format. That's what I'm talking about.
So
We're
collect,
talking about
but
correct. So when we're talking about a fully built, ready to deliver, I can sit in this and drive this vehicle, sit in this motorcycle and drive it as a 1976 Shovelhead.
do you want to get really specific and say Barry wanted a really specific motorcycle and you got him that for himself? I mean,
We could do that.
that's, I mean, that could be part of it. It might not be the whole picture, but it might be he wanted this particular bike that he could only get, and you were like, well, what about this? And you know, that was the deal, or part of the deal.
That, and there was only one particular individual that actually had this, and you know where he was? He was in Kiev, Ukraine.
And what if this started as Barry approaching you because you were selling it or you had the opportunity to sell it, and then it turned into, well, while we're here, hey, guess what? I also need to get out of the fucking country. Can you help me? Or did it work the other way around?
No, you know what? To be even more antagonistic, it could have been a vehicle from the retainer of the either of Dimitri or that Sabat. Yeah, exactly. Hey, you know what? I just killed the Sabat that I tried to ring information out to find either Dimitri's or the Archon location of. I fucked up, but I have a really cool motorbike or a Porsche or Mustang.
And that was the vehicle that you used to escape on?
Yeah, it's like,
A little bit conspicuous, but you know,
hey, Johnny boy.
drive it into the back of a truck or something and escape.
Well, let me do that.
Then-
Johnny boy.
Then Johnny would have seen the opportunity and went, hello, I sold this for, wow. Wonder what would happen if I took another one and better start thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just kept killing and I kept taking and I kept killing and I kept taking and Jonathan kept making money.
All right. Okay. Well, I mean, all of this is kind of historical at this point anyway, but it does add some very nice flavor to our story going forward. Okay. What's the most important lesson that your character has learned, Charlie?
That you can make everyone with enough information about someone, you could make them do things. You can puppeteer people without actually talking to them. There you go.
Do you play pranks on people?
No.
Okay, what do you do with this information and how do you manipulate them, and what's an example of something that you've done?
Well, it's I believe it would be good to have it all for the time where I'm going to need it. And that would be like I might have some contacts, but I don't really have the points to spend on contacts, so I might like develop them in game so I can get away with that.
Has your
Yeah.
character spent time talking to Yuri about I don't know, anarch philosophy, Sabbat philosophy, shit like that, or is she not interested?
Newbie is more of a listener, so she'd probably ask, and then Yuri will probably just lore dump
Talk.
on her.
Okay.
Yeah. So she would listen, would take notes. I should probably give her eidetic memory. It's tempting.
Uh, your character, does he have any contact with his original living human family?
The ones that are supposedly dead but not, yes. The living ones, not so much.
Okay. So is Dad still a senator, or is he dead now?
Dad's still a senator. Still manipulating his way through the government. And I have other members of my family, but the ones of my family that decided.
Oh, muted.
The ones of my family that decided to become what I am now, been true, they have ghouled most of my family. So that they're working for them now.
So hang on, what? Who's done this?
You
Sorry,
gotta hit the button.
hit the button.
My family through the years,
Yep.
well, the first one of us to become a Ventru, what happens is they choose somebody who's going to be next.
From the family.
Yeah, they choose it from the family.
Okay. So it's very much a vampire, little vampire empire.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm watching season 4 of Succession at the moment. Love that show.
A dog name that says a little Midwestern from my taste, but not Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so that's what happens. They choose. It's like a little family cult.
Right. Okay. So you were selected.
Yeah.
What do you think made them select you?
Basically, I have a head for business, but I also have a go in there and do what you have to do to achieve your goal attitude.
Okay. And were you loyal to the family? Are you loyal to the family, or is that the problem?
I am loyal to the family, which is why I had to do the whole when the organization, wanted to kill me off. I had to do the whole I died thing.
Why did they want to kill you off?
Well, because I had too much information.
But if you're loyal to the family, why does that matter?
No, the family didn't want to kill me. The what do they call themselves?
You talking about the NSA or the CIA?
CIA. They wanted to kill me off.
And do they want to do that purely for like national security reasons, or are we talking about special fucking NSA squads here?
Yeah, special fucking NSA squads.
So they
stuff.
They know your blank body, as they say in 5th edition.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a problem.
Yeah. So they.
So that may be that there are. I mean, that's definitely a problem as far as like the Masquerade is concerned, and as far as the government and the CIA is concerned, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to be undercover from the vampires, though, because the vampires obviously have the Masquerade anyway.
No, it's the CIA I'm undercover from.
Okay, so you're not actually undercover from the Camarilla.
No, no.
Don't worry about that. Okay.
No, I'm hiding in the Camarilla.
Do you have any enemies in their family? Do you have like a brother or a cousin or something?
Oh, I've got an ambitious brother, ambitious blood brother.
Okay.
And he thinks he's all that, but he's not really all that. You know, he won't do the dirty work.
I feel like you're copying someone's story, and you're copying Simon's story.
No. He won't do the he won't do the dirty work when it needs doing. He'll get somebody else to do it.
It was a good trope. Works.
Yeah.
True.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Very good. Okay.
Beep, beep, beep.
Cool.
I'm giving my character all the computers because I can. I have had the freebie points, so that's what I did.
Barry's got, 15 freebie points still up his sleeve. We haven't spent the backgrounds yet, but I'm thinking we're going to... You want to blow all your backgrounds on generation? Or, I mean, you're going to need resources and retainers.
You need that more than anyone.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit kind of... I don't know whether having a childer is... I mean, you could do it as a flaw. If there's a flaw for that, but then there would be like a rebellious childer, probably.
I think you should probably just give him childer. It's not really a background.
Yeah, but
he's old enough.
Having a child adds a massive factor. It's like a... What's the term? It's like it's a whole league of freaking power right there.
It's thorny, yes.
Force multiplier is the term I wanted to use. I mean, you've got a childer. It's like an independent vampire that could do all sorts of shit, and because they're your childer, they're pretty much going to be loyal to you unless they're not, for some reason.
It's kind of like an ally or contact.
Yeah,
which is at one point.
One of the reasons why they killed off Nicola and actually allowed for some outside influence to affect how Yuri traveled through his vampiric ascension, descension, whatever, is to separate from that familial extension. As soon as you actually attach any sort of familial aspect, I find we're talking about just a difference in how we approach even just a basic interaction. I'm trying to draw correlation based on some of our recent adventures, like Mercy. I loved Mercy. I liked dealing with her, but I had no idea how to deal with her childer.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
So that complete differentiation, which comes down to that lack of information, left me as a character, or period, as a character. We'll leave that as a kind of like an absolute, at a loss to interact with anything else that's actually going on with the general.
Yeah, it kind of shuts out the players. Shuts out other players. Because that one player has like a whole thing that they're doing, and it's all about that relationship. Then it doesn't include the group easily.
Yeah, exactly. It's like And I think that's probably one good reasons why a reboot, a re-encapsulation,
Totally.
a re-embarkation, but an allowance for some of the previous characters. Because honestly, dude, you spend this time developing those characters, like how could they not impact
For
any
sure.
sort of like for fuck's sakes, like I would be furious as a DM myself, like and as a world builder to not allow the characters to organically build and not have that develop into future expectations. So just like, what the fuck did I do then? Like
I guess for me, I'm very concerned that because a lot of our characters ended up becoming in was it the Order of Mars? I'm afraid that will come up too quickly.
That's
if
not gonna
if
come
that
up
comes
quickly.
back.
I promise that's not going to come up quickly.
Okay. I honestly, I don't really need it.
No.
We're still having a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, if we're it really, that will only come up if the game starts getting stale.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
ignore
Tuck
the
'em
Order
away.
of Mars for now. It's
And
not.
then we're gonna do, if we
So-
don't reboot, then we'll have to kill off terrorists again.
So where do we exist right now before we even enter into the Order of Mars and the expectation of Gehenna? Like, because honestly, at this point in time, nobody fucking cares, knows, or wants about Gehenna.
Right, exactly.
You know, we have Barry nodding off. That's cool though. You know, go have a nap, man.
I'm listening.
Like, no, it's fine. It's bro. It's like, you want to have a nap. It's totally okay. And we got Noobs, who is backing the Y2K exploitation. Then we got myself as Yuri, who is approaching from the unexpected direction.
I mean, the thing is, we're starting from scratch.
Alien.
We're starting at the beginning. This is basically a reboot. We're playing first level characters in D&D. That's
Yeah.
what we're doing. We're starting at the beginning. We've got low level characters, and we're going to build them up from here. So having retainers, you can do that. You can buy retainers with your backgrounds. There's no mechanic to buy Childer, but you can make Childer in the game.
Oh yeah, for sure.
There's nothing stopping you doing that. And then I get to role play a character that gets to become a vampire and organically go through that process.
Yeah.
I think that's probably better than starting with a character that you're going to have a lot of control of from the very beginning, and I'm not totally comfortable with that. I feel like it's going to put a lot of pressure on me.
Might unbalance us.
Yeah, that's pretty much the problem. Is it's unbalanced.
Man, I'm basically giving you a niece to play with.
Yeah, I mean, look, the other way I could do it, I could go with it, but then I would feel obligated to use it against you. And I don't want to kill off your child or in the first 3 sessions of the game just to bring things back and to motivate characters.
I will do the retainer.
Well, here's a question. Do you feel that there is a lack of motivation when it comes down to what we've developed thus far?
No, not at the outset. I think that I want to know more about your character's neuroses and flaws and how they're fucked up and what they're bad at, and what's the downside of any of these characters. Like how I can kind of see with Jesse, you've got like a whole bunch of political reasons and even personal reasons when it comes to your brother and so on. But like.
Tell me what you want.
How does this life?
Tell you what you need.
Huh?
tell me what you want, and I will tell you what I need.
Right. Well, I'm still kind of thinking about it. I'm still working on it in terms of
I know, I can see that
what we
head
need
just
to.
like throbbing right now.
Yeah.
No.
But
I'm not.
well, for
Nah.
newbie and
So far,
her,
it's really good.
No, I'm picking on you. It's fine. I want you to think about it.
I think
It's
this
great.
idea for this coterie, what we have here is excellent. We've got like 40 minutes, so I'm scraping.
Yeah.
with newbie, I'm sort of backwards creating her. So I've got her as she is now. I will come up with a backstory. But I also I'm trying to keep her far from it.
Like what I was thinking with you, Barry, for example, was like, why does this Ventru have this urge to drive dangerous motorcycles? Like he's been brought up in this thing, and I love it, but we need to know why, or at least I think you need to know why at the very least, and it would be useful for me to know why too. Like I think it's cool, but there should be a reason, and that reason should be that he's got some kind of fucking thing where I don't know, he's got a death wish, or he's, what is it? What is it about him that makes him do this?
Could we even make it even so pedestrian?
It doesn't have to be that pedestrian. It could be much more complicated or interesting, and I want to hear it.
No, but that's what I mean though. Like, can we even make it very pedestrian?
Sure.
The fact that
lots of people are terribly pedestrian.
Yes, that's another conversation. But but the fact that even a vampire who has lived so long, who wants exhilaration, who wants or needs just that extra oomph when it comes to waking up in the morning, to diving off and knowing that I can't die, even though I jump off this cliff, or I take this corridor at like 198 kilometers an hour,
be Keanu Reeves.
Exactly.
Be Keanu Reeves. Live dangerously.
Exactly. I'm taking these corners. I'm not dying, or I can't die.
I mean, we know that he's ex-CIA, so he's used to danger and all of that stuff, right? And the types of people that do these kinds of things often do have certain fucking mental issues. And I'm not meaning like they're not necessarily psychopaths or fucked up
No,
ways that you can tell. But
no, they are sociopathic.
Right, they're sociopathic, and most vampires are sociopathic, at least to some degree. He's been working for a family that, I mean, they're vampire crime family, kind of, or let's be specific. What do you think?
Pretty much like Avengers family, which is basically a vampire crime family.
Yeah. Right, exactly. Okay, so he's been brought up in a pretty cold environment. He hasn't had enough, didn't get enough hugs as a child. Let's be, very simply, that's what it kind of comes down to.
Are you murdering animals when were you murdering animals when you were a kid? Just to see what the insides were.
We don't even need to get to that point.
Are you
where it
Jason
actually comes to
Newberry?
it. We do not even get to the point of sociopathic behavior. We just like a element of lack of
empathy
and empathy. Exactly.
It's like he's got no empathy on his character sheet.
Oh shit! Did you actually put that? Choice.
Choice.
Because as a Ventru, as a individual who has access to fuck tons of money, how would you know how to manipulate? Well, no, you know how to manipulate. No, you actually, how would you know a way to manipulate individual peoples just because, well, you have money?
Easy. People that don't have money need money. You give them money for services.
But here's Yuri going, "Oh fuck, I fucked up." Jonathan's like, "You know what, bro? I got you covered. You're a really good driver, or whatever it is that you do. I've got you covered. Just get this race done. You get in. Like, we're doing Fast and fucking Furious right now. That's what I'm thinking. Like in my mind right now, I'm like, this is Fast and Furious.
Right.
Jonathan is just like, oh, this is shit. Oh my god, we're living this.
He likes.
Does he have some kind of look? I mean, like interesting characters sometimes have unrealistic dreams or expectations of themselves.
Of course.
It depends what you're trying to go for, really. Like, do you want him to be powerful, or do you want him to be interesting, or do you want him to be interesting and powerful?
But why does it need to be any sort of differentiation? When it comes down to somebody who is immortal, or somebody who is mortal with a definitive barrier in how they actually exist between A point and A point B. I think that's actually really important when it comes down to what Jonathan actually expects from somebody who is, hey, I fucked up. I know you got my back, but what can we expect from going forward?
Well, how does Jonathan treat you,
Exactly.
Barry?
Like,
how do you think Jonathan treats him? Is he like his friend, or is he his fucking servant? Is he dirt to him that he keeps around? You know, like
because he's entertaining.
Yeah, and how do you treat newbie?
I mean, you are inherently. I mean, the thing is, I guess if you're CIA, ex-CIA, you've had to be undercover from time to time. You've had to work in dangerous situations and strange places.
Yeah.
Some hard things. So you've had to blend in with people. How far and how good are you at camouflaging yourself as the average person, as mixing in with the crowd? Or are you fairly aloof and stand above them, looking down on them as a ventru, as a vampire, as a rich bastard, as a capitalist?
He's trying to find out who he is.
Okay, so that's his secret.
He's trying to find out who he is. And
what's changing him from his? Why is he different? If he's different from his family,
because
you said he was good at the money stuff and he was good at going in there and doing the hard things, right? Which kind of and he was loyal to the family, so that those things all point to sociopath and a little bit psycho. But then he's working with these guys. He's rescued this other guy. And you've got a certain amount of anarch rebellion going on as well. So there's part of you that's rebelling against all of that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So this conflict, maybe this is our nature demeanor conflict.
I'm having a battle with myself inside.
Right. Okay. Now we're getting something.
There are moments when I can be very nice, and moments when I can be not so nice, and killing somebody can be as easy as.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, and of course you're Ventru, so you have a particular blood that you can feed on, right?
Yeah.
So you're gonna have to have. So you've been in the CIA and you've worked with high-ranking officials and you've hung around lots of money at times. You will have had to have been able to feed during those times, as well as on the road and in Kiev, and whatever other locations you've had to work at. So that blood has to be relatively accessible, but still quite specific. It could be as broad as young girls or boys, or it could be as.
Can we even make it as specific to the fact that Barry pulled me from Kiev and I have access to Ukrainian blood? Me. It could be a link. Not saying it's 100%, but with newbie actually being brought into it, some of the top minds when it comes down to hacking
What if
are
newbie
going to be
predilection is too? That might be something that she holds.
So what was that?
What if newbie
sure.
knows what blood Jonathan has to feed on?
Oh.
I mean, if you've been working together for a while, it would be.
Oh yes. I would be keeping an eye on everything and everyone.
And honestly, like to keep this cohesive, we need to be. Each one of us needs to have a piece of the puzzle.
Right, and you have to be
And we
vulnerable to
need
each other.
exactly 100%.
You have to find ways
Like,
of being vulnerable to each other in order for your bonds to be stronger than your conflicts.
and for me, it's my contacts and my ability to be, well, no, my contacts. Let's just not
And it's also
beat around the bush.
it's also your past.
Well,
You know, they
but
can
the problem is that my past brings up more than can be layered out that makes sense in any sort of narrow narrative. Like if we're trying to create just bonds of friendship or loose friendship,
right.
I can see that Jonathan knew what I had as a something to be exploited. Okay, fine. I get that. As my character is, I am used to being exploited, but I want to be ensure that I actually have something to
In return for that.
correct.
Yeah.
So cool. Hello, Jonathan, you bring me to North America. I knew that Charlie existed, Newbie existed at that point in time. Why? Because I was already part of that underground. She allowed, and I knew of her, maybe not directly, but I knew of her to allow us to move forward into North America, so to isolate our transition, our identities, or how you actually see the allowance of that of our identities to transition into the North American or the post 1986. Well, actually, it'd be post 1992, but anyway.
I'm going to get to what Barry feeds on.
It's really, yeah, it's more to do with where do we gravitate towards to as a ultimate goal.
Yeah, how do we? Yeah, and the ultimate goal is to have a functional coterie.
Yeah, and right now, I like basically what I've heard is like Jonathan's like, you know what, I fucking hate the Camarilla, Doobie. I like, Camarilla can go down with all Blazagori, and for my characters is like, I really want to kill this Archon and this Dimitri the Wishek that are part of the Camarilla. So it's like we're borderline fucking anarchists.
I feed.
Yep.
I feed on cruel parents.
Cruel parents.
Damn, that's specific.
That's incredibly specific.
How do you find them?
I'll give you mine, like right now.
Could you just say parents? It would make it so much easier for you. You could assume they're all cruel.
No, I would literally drag you both my parents to you like right now.
I literally go to the dossier scenes of town and I started looking because some of the cruelest bastards I know come from the roughest parts of town.
Okay.
But they have to be parents.
So are they cruel? Like, does it just stop there? Do they? What about neglect? Does that count? What about
their children? Their children, cruel to their children.
Okay. What constitutes cruel?
Beating them, not feeding them, taking their drugs instead of looking after their kids.
About abusive parents.
Yeah, an abusive parent.
Okay.
You know, because even though you're rich, they still take drugs.
Right. So, okay. And this is because you felt that your parents were cruel to you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. It's very specific.
Yeah.
Hmm. How does it further the bringing together of the group as a goal?
No, nobody. It's not something he. I mean, he retaliates in a heavy way. He makes sure they feel fear before he feeds.
Right.
He makes sure they feel like they're children. So it's pretty cruel.
Okay. So his humanity is kind of in the balance then.
Yeah, yeah.
How does this work to further the goal of us making a coterie that works together?
Well, if
Choice. We have this opportunity to choose things here that are going to bring everyone together. Is there any way we can use that to, I don't know, maybe kill?
and yet in himself he's ashamed of it.
Okay.
So if someone knows about it,
Right. So if Charlie's character knows about it, for example.
yeah.
Okay.
I would say it's probably more likely to be an issue that the party has to deal with, like especially if it's that, especially being that specific. If we're out in the jungle, you're fucked. There is nothing for you to eat.
I'll just remind you of the story where I played a Ventrue character who was a biker who could only feed on opera singers, and I literally wound up in the jungle and couldn't feed, and it was. I ended up stop playing because it didn't work.
maybe it's more. Maybe you should go for people that are afraid. Like, just say that their entire being is in fear. That way, if you can find those people, but then you might be able to find other people that are afraid. You can make people afraid.
Okay, I mean, look, let's work together here, because I mean, Barry, you've got a clear idea about what you want. What about that? Could be like what you love the most, like that's what you would prefer to feed on. Absolutely, that's your favorite meal, and if you can, you will. But sometimes there's not going to be that opportunity. It's because it's so specific. It's going to be hard. You could broaden it to saying that you can feed on X group of people, but you prefer to feed on this much smaller group of people. That way, I don't penalize you unnecessarily. Do you know what I'm saying? Oops, button.
What if I like people that are afraid?
Yeah, that's.
I like them to be afraid before I.
Yeah, it's like Tatiana prefers to feed on men that are literally wetting themselves.
Yeah.
Pretty much what I was saying before.
Yeah.
Should definitely do that. And then you can choose, you can layer it.
You can
make
layer it.
Those people pay.
Yeah.
And it could be people that have fucked with your organization. It could be people that have fucked with other people. It could be anyone you but you have to make them afraid, and preferably they deserve it, right?
Yeah.
Would I be able to get a major contact?
Like what?
Like Bobby Witherbottom? It could be like a pen pal situation.
I would be okay with you like messaging back and forth with him on some like multiply encrypted kind of bulletin board type situation where you're aware of each other, and
not really. Well, I would hope that we wouldn't really know.
Well, he's probably trying to track you down, and you're probably trying to track him down. Neither of you are able to get through each other's defenses at this point.
Yeah, like that.
No.
Contact.
Yeah, I mean, you could reach out. You could have the ability to contact him.
Nice.
Hmm.
You never know when you
That would-
need to have an inroad to the Camarilla without
fuck the
actually being
Camarilla.
part of it. Yeah.
Fuck the Camarilla. All I know is desperate
So
deviation from what we know.
you get around on a motorcycle, right? That's your main form of transport around Chicago.
Mm. For me, yes. So, sorry, just
bury that.
I like
Oh,
the
Barry.
I like the speed,
Yeah.
and I like to get the fuck out of there really fast.
Right. So do you
And-
have like a bunch of bikes under the nightclub with a back entrance and a driveway and a
Yep,
door
yep,
kind of situation?
yep.
It's all
Yeah, I
set up
do.
and so on outside. Okay, so
Yep.
it's fairly secure. Okay.
And if I could,
Hmm.
I'd like to ask,
Hmm.
what about having a mixture of not necessarily vampires, but some what do you call them? Retainers,
Yeah,
and that are part of my group.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think we should certainly have like 2 or 3 retainers in that group.
Yeah.
Fools that you trust and are bloodbound to you.
Yeah.
That you might be grooming to make into vampires.
Yeah.
Whoever turns out to be the best, perhaps.
Okay. Yep.
You will eventually have to get permission and all of that sort of shit, but yep.
Yep. I'll get all that sort of shit. Okay, so how many men have I got to get all together?
Well, I think that you could have 5 on your crew,
Okay.
right?
Cool.
3 of them could be ghouls.
Yeah.
That would be fair and reasonable.
Cool.
Okay. Yep, they might have slightly different specialities. You've
That's cool.
the
Just
highest tech shit that money can buy.
Yeah.
Some of it may even be kind of intelligence community level tech that you might have found or stolen.
Well,
Yeah.
Jesse has an idea. His eyebrows have an idea.
Jesse's eyebrows have an idea.
Yeah.
Another one.
I always have ideas.
Barry, sorry, I'm just going to concentrate on Barry for a minute because he's been very quiet for a long time.
Okay.
What's your hopes, dreams, and fantasies for the character? Not necessarily the character's dreams, but I want to know what your expectations are for the game.
Oh well, I just want to make me an empire.
Okay, so you're
That's
looking.
what I want to do. I want to make me an empire.
Okay, that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. And I believe my family is interested in putting stuff there, buying land, stuff like that.
Okay.
But they're buying it, not me.
What would be your ultimate moment?
Oh.
Receiving a Nobel Prize, probably out of the question.
Yeah.
You're not going to win an Oscar.
No.
What would it be? Is there some accolade or some moment that would be the greatest thing that could happen to your character?
When I've got enough businesses that my family is content I've done what they wanted, and I can just get on with living my own life.
Do you think your family will ever be content? Do you think they will just keep wanting to grow?
No. The real secret is they will never be content.
Right.
But I'm a son just trying to.
Right. So are you secretly trying to please your father? Ultimately, subconsciously, unconsciously?
No, this time I'm trying to please myself.
Okay.
Trying to please myself because pleasing my father is bloody near impossible. Yeah. And he's already got all the money in the world.
Right.
So nothing I could do could make him happy.
Is there any part of you that wants to see him fucking suffer?
Yeah. Because he's not a nice bastard.
Is dancing on his grave something that you would want to do?
No, I don't want to dance on his grave. I want to dig it up and put him in a pauper's grave somewhere far away. Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
All right. Well, same question for you, Jesse. What are your ultimate goals for your character as a player? What would you like to see happen?
Yuri has existed for many generations. He approached the late 1980s with much reputation. I can't say that I knew what would actually happen, but what actually happened was was not what I expected in any way, shape, or the exploitation of those that are young and need disastrous, gross. What I see for Yuri going forward is that retribution.
Revolution, did you say? Or
Retribution.
Retribution. Okay. So retribution. Underline.
Retribution is not something that has actually undermined us as a culture. Yes. Are we Ukraine? Are we Russian? Are we Slavic? We don't know. But we do know is that we've been suppressed, repressed,
I know
grossly
you ain't no
crushed.
American.
I do not think that I've actually held that as a secret at any point in time in our engagement, and nor have I actually said this in any conversation. You, Jonathan, you saw me as a component of your war against what your families, your monies. But for me, I just want actually retribution. That's it.
You want a drink to go with some of that there is a revolution of yours? I reckon. You want a drink?
We have drinks in front of you right now. We have what you want? You want whiskey? You want vodka? Vodka, if you're Siberian little cunt, that's fine too. But you know what? We sip when we go forward. What I actually want is me, Yuri, going forward. Is what you promised.
All right. Charlie.
Oh, well, Ruby is, well, she doesn't really have a big goal. She's pretty much just living day to day, trying to survive is her, I suppose. If she's after a goal, it's going to be survival.
Right.
She's trying to keep herself away from others and keep her anonymity at all costs, because otherwise it will ruin everything. She'll have to start again.
Thing that could happen to her.
Sorry?
What would be the best thing that could happen to her?
Ooh, it's a good question. She's kind of living stagnantly.
Because she's kind of safe where she is now, right?
Yes.
She's not in any immediate danger, so she has that survival kind of covered.
Yes.
Right. So she's at a point, almost a turning point, where she needs to possibly, she can continue, as you say, stagnating, or and will she do that without any exterior kind of influence? Will she transform by herself? Does she want to transform? Does she have something she wants to transform into?
She's not a transformer, but I see her as
What's her arc? What's her character development?
I see her as being driven to learn more.
Okay.
I would say that's probably it. I mean, she's a Nosferatu. It makes sense to gather information, and this is what she is good at, gathering intel. Technology will be constantly changing, so she wants to be ahead of the game there. However, yeah, she is living on the edge. She may be safe, but she knows that it's not immortal.
Not right.
Yeah.
Right.
Safety will not last forever. She has to be like water.
Does she have like a backup plan?
Most likely.
Does she have somewhere to go? Does she have a safe house? Does she have a friend somewhere in another city or anything like that? Does she have money stashed away? Does she have...
I'd say she would have money stashed away, and it wouldn't be digital.
Right.
Yeah, because it could be taken away so easily. I mean,
she probably has cryptocurrency, cash, shit going on. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
good question would be, what's your relationship with Yuri and what's your relationship with Jonathan?
Right.
Okay, well,
I mean, Jonathan, I would say, is the backer.
yes. But Jonathan is more to it with Jonathan. Like she knows that he is someone that she could hide behind. Because he is the one who is front and center. He's a Ventrue, so if Loden comes looking for him, he might have a bit more of a lenient stance because they're the same house, and it could it could look poorly on them if Loden was to just like outright kill him. So she's hiding behind him. When it comes to Yuri, though, I haven't quite figured that out. I mean, they could just be work colleagues. She could see Yuri as being quite interesting. Someone who's more emotive than she is.
What if Loden kind of knows or suspects that you exist, and Jonathan has taken the action of basically saying, no, she doesn't exist, and don't worry about it. There's nothing to worry about. She's not going to do anything that's going to affect you. Just
she doesn't exist.
Leave her alone. She doesn't exist. And Loden's like, okay, she doesn't exist for now. And so he's not doing anything to affect you or to influence you or hurt you in any way, but that's only because Jonathan has stood up and protected you from the Camarilla in that respect. And so you need Jonathan, that provides that kind of connection that you need to help keep the group coherent.
Yeah,
but wouldn't they actually introduce a passive-aggressive attitude from Yuri, who is outside, or either an interloper who's trying to assert himself into the North American latitude, really? I mean, like, it's like he's almost neutered before he even actually gets into any sort of intrigue.
What do you mean? I'm a little...
because we're heading towards anarchy, or the anarchs, more than the Camarilla. Is that way?
So he is basically dropped into...
Does he need to know about it?
So no, he's basically, hey, you know what? I'm going to airdrop you into intrigue. Thank you very much. I am now safe from whatever shit that I was going to do or having to deal with in the Europes. But now I am now basically fucked because I have now been dropped into North America. The only the only real latitude that I have when it comes down to any sort of explanation to why I exist in the North Americas is how I interact with Jonathan, period. Which kind of gives Yuri a really lackadaisical integration into how the North Americas actually receive him. Because honestly, I don't think the prince even knows I exist at that point in time.
Okay. Well, the prince doesn't need to know that you exist. I'm just trying to think of ways in which Jonathan's character can protect the other two characters.
But why does he care?
Be useful. Why does he care? Because they're useful.
I've proven my usefulness at least once.
Yeah. I mean, Jonathan
Charlie
could be doing the same thing for both of you. That could be.
But that's what I'm talking about. Is like we've proven our usefulness at least once.
Yeah.
My anarchic perspective when it comes down to how vampiric society has either a protected or not protected me and my familia is at kind of a root. Jonathan exploited that. He also exploited that very same family aspect when it comes down to how he introduced himself to Charlie. He is a root factor when it comes down to how we introduce ourselves into the North American, even just
How do you want to introduce yourself into the North American situation?
I don't.
How
That was never even explanation. That was never even an option.
Well, okay, but you're in a city with 70 vampires, right? And there's a bunch of stories and intrigue that need to happen.
Yes, exactly.
I'm gonna have to push you into it at some point. There's going to be
that's kind of my point, though. Is like it's like we have somebody who is basically have I have so much power, intrigue, and explanation as to why I exist. Why do you exist? Well, I know why I exist. Charlie know why she exists. But where do we actually develop going forward? What is our common enemy? And I can actually say with most confidence right now is that the rejection of Camarilla politics.
right. No, that's fair.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I think that it's unrealistic to expect to be able to just sidestep them entirely.
Well, exactly. That's my biggest, like, my brain goes, irk. Because I know where we are and just not how we get there. That there's that irk in the road. I'm gesturing my hands. Irk in the road. We know where we gotta go, but there's this weird kind of gesture that pushes us off any sort of real and awesome latitude. And I think there's some real cool. There's some really, brain kind of working overload.
It's okay. You got this.
Give me a second.
What are you thinking, Barry?
Is it that we're confused about like how we can integrate in with the society of Camarilla?
Well,
people. Is that how?
I'm
Is that
much
what we're at issues with?
trying to develop intrigue
Mm.
and make things complex.
I mean, like
And
perhaps we could tie in with like Hank a bit more, because he is like he's a prominent
for sure,
anarch in Chicago. So what would you do with him? Like he tries to avoid the Camarilla, right?
well, that's true, but Hank doesn't have the resources to find out about him. And also, Hank's not afraid of him at this point because he doesn't even know about him. I don't think, not unless Yuri reaches out to him. Um,
Who is Hank?
Hank is he's a vocal anarch in the city, but I mean, the thing is, just being an anarch is not enough to get you blood hunted in Chicago. There is the Convention of Thorns saw to that some time ago, right? So the anarchs and the Camarilla are sort of supposedly supposed to be working, not necessarily together, but they're not technically at war. That being said, there is this animosity between elders and anarchs, not necessarily the Camarilla and anarchs.
Okay, so okay, I would actually just when I'm brought into the Chicago influence,
Yeah,
like let's look at this as an airdrop.
right.
And the only person I know of is the juggler.
Right.
Why? Because it sounds fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, we could start in Gary.
And I'm dropping into this.
Uh,
And I have a bar. And I'm running this bar the same way that me and my brother run this bar. I'm the bouncer. He's running the fucking he's pouring drinks. That's what he's doing. That's all he's doing. He's actually guarding the back door. I'm guarding the front door. Scene.
Right. Well, somebody's going to come in. Somebody's going to come and have a nosy around, but they're not going to come in themselves. They're going to send average Joes to go and visit you, to knock on the door and have a look and buy some drinks and check you out. They're going to check you out from a distance first, right? They're not going to just come wandering in. They're not stupid.
What could you? Who are you?
John, I don't know.
Wick. John Wick's.
Yeah. Give me a chance here. I haven't got NPCs sitting here waiting for this moment, but
Bullet ass. I don't care.
and it's 10th.
Okay.
But yeah, it's going to be a sort of infiltration situation, and they're going to reconnaissance. They're going to do reconnaissance. They're not going to wander in, and then eventually, maybe someone will come in, or maybe you'll get an invite somewhere, and then you will hear about a nightclub called the Rose Garden in Gary, which is where Juggler generally hangs out. And then having visited that place, if you do choose to visit it, you will meet Juggler. And
which you already would.
Which Yuri probably would, right? Okay, so well we can.
I'm trying to perpetuate a series of events that would more than likely happen because of how he was dropped into Vampiric Society,
right?
Especially within Chicago,
right?
Would it if it was back in fucking Soviet controlled Ukraine?
Yeah,
completely fucking different. He was trying to leave that shit.
Right.
He was trying to find the persons that were responsible for his transition, his brother's death. You know, just add them up. Just add them up. Like there is so much shit that could be actually involved in why he's come to North America.
Right.
If the jugular is one of the key points when it comes down to anarchic society, he was never part of and wanted to be anarchic at all. He believed in society. He believed in the fact that the Camarilla was required and needed to maintain
order.
a civil and orders. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
So him doing this and diving into that and seeking out anarchic
Right.
contacts, I think was just like that doesn't.
Well,
That is an
how does this reflect on Jonathan too? Because I mean, Jonathan does have ties with the Camarilla. He is Ventru, and
Yes,
he is going to be.
he,
I mean, if his close contact, who's living at this club or what have you, that he's has a lot of interaction with, he's going to be questioned about that if that comes down to it. And bear in mind that Juggler and Loden are pretty much arch enemies, right? So there's a lot of spying that goes on between them.
Exactly. Well. So I'm going against what Jonathan's preconceptions were. He wanted to bring me out of a very anarchic situation.
No.
He didn't realize that I had other ulterior motives. He already knew of Newbie's abilities. So he's still a linchpin. He still brought me into North America. He still dropped me into a position of potential conflict, which he fucking knew. And that's exactly why he did it.
Did Jonathan know that you used to be an enforcer for the Camarilla?
He had to have.
Right. So perhaps he made a bunch of assumptions about that.
Ooh, yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Jonathan.
Oh.
Yeah.
So crime is our big thing, right? Like that's what is that what we do?
I think that's the hook.
I mean, it would make sense.
And it's to be fair, I mean, like one of Loden's top enforcers in Chicago is Al Capone.
Yeah.
Capone's a bitch.
You tell him that.
Do you know? I mean, he's actually a pretty good guy. He would give money to charity as well as kill bitches.
For sure.
Yeah.
So he's not a bad guy.
I'm well acquainted. Do you want me to get my accent? Like my fucking my previous accent. Like yeah. No, actually that'd be the Boston accent. That'd be the Boston accent. We mean the Miss Western.
To be fair, my Al Capone is not the historical Al Capone.
Your Al Capone is Christopher Walken.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think that's so cool. Yeah.
But anyway, he's not the historical Al Capone, but he does have his own character arc.
He does. Oh, Jonathan, something to say. Come on. Come on, Betty.
I don't have a thing to say.
Kick me in the balls. Do it.
Just to say, I hope you like it on the Thief Tower.
I'm hoping not to see the Sears Tower.
And remember, I'm a character that can't fly helicopters.
Right.
Thank fuck.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? If we can't fly helicopters, you can still fly.
For about 8 seconds.
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Well, I think we made a lot of progress tonight. We have some idea of a coterie. I think overall the general gist of it is there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we have enough to improvise from if we want to start there. We could go.
I think just know we're anarchs that have loose ties to the Camarilla, and we work in crime related activities.
If everyone's got their own specific goal for themselves and a goal for the group, I think those are the main things, right? Having those objectives.
That's why I tried to push a little bit of improv there.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm tired and I wasn't expecting it, so I apologize. I normally would jump on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of research, mainly about anime. Hacking. Anime.
Anime.
Just
Think of-
honestly,
Bye.
just look up Akibara.
Yeah, for sure.
And say goodbye.
He did say goodbye. He did.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
just he looks
Well-
very tired. Very, very tired.
Said a
I
long
was gonna
time.
say, arigatou arigatou.
What are you saying? I know Japanese. That's not anything.
One gashimasu.
Hmm.
Garishimashita.
And then he just rambled.
One gashimasu. You know that, right?
Yep.
Kanke. Oh, haya. Garamashas.
Okay.
All right. Well, we are recording this.
You saw it in there. I said the same thing 2 different times.
It's really hard. It's hard to see under your little mustache.
Oh shit, my little mustache. Holy shit.
It was so hard to see. I'm sorry. You'll have to tuck it up and like
No,
pin it with
I
pigs.
appreciate that because that really gives me a kick in the balls. Yeah,
Are you
that's good.
Back on Sunday next week. Is that our schedule?
Because now I'm actually voting to my fucking
Well,
Westerness and like,
hoping so. I don't have anything to do next Sunday.
Cool.
What about you?
Yeah, let's book it in.
Book it in. All right. Let's see if we can get any input from our dear friend Isaac between now and then. He
So
was like,
unreliable.
I'm gonna
but
be there. Yeah, I'm gonna be there. Nope.
he's the one that wanted to reboot this so much.
Oh my god. Poor fucker. He must be zapped. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Because he decided to be born in Ohio. That's
Right.
that's on him.
Damn
Like, what have you got to do in Ohio? Like, seriously.
They've got big versions of things. He took a picture of a building that looked like a picnic basket.
Wow.
Was he standing over it?
No, he was in the car. He shouldn't though. He should have done the whole illusion thing.
That would be amazing because it would just be a double disillusionment. It would be, it'd be great.
Right, making you guys
Yes.
co-hosts because I am gonna fuck off now.
I should go to bed too.
See you all on Discord.
It's only 3 a.m. What's going on?
Go to bed, Jesse. We can chat on Discord, okay? Because we should probably like come up with some character questions and then try and nail some of these out. Although you seem to have a pretty good grasp on it. I still need to figure out a lot about newbie. I can't wait to find out.
See you guys.
Like seriously, like do you expect anything less? Like, fuck.
Goodbye.